Okay, finally found the trash can on my tablet so I could delete. Took me a minute. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna do this just so I can delete it out of my account. July is a funny month. So the thing about July is July 1st is actually my old wedding anniversary that I was married for 16 years. And July 12th is when my best friend died. Like that was a long time ago, but in a car accident. And so July is July. The summer is the summer. Christopher died in August. So we're just going to go through this, and then I think I'm just going to actually delete this one. I don't think I'm keeping it because it's July. I don't really know that there's anything in here necessarily. We'll see. So documentation for lawsuit purposes. SCOTUS members are causing myself to feel unconstitutional and abused. I feel like it's time to seek help through another country due to SCOTUS unconstitutional attacks to my democracy. My country is being human trafficked by ugly, old, angry rapist men with severe mental issues such as religious schizophrenia, forcing my requirement to require foreign assistance from another country to pursue charges against SCOTUS members with the ICC. So how that would work is other countries would have to be willing to actually arrest a SCOTUS member when they go visit their country. Not that they would, but that's the whole point of it. You want to make someone feel uncomfortable with travel. You want to be somebody who gets to go around and travel around the world and see the world. Maybe you should be somebody who deserves to have that privilege. Maybe you shouldn't be a SCOTUS member who's taking rights away from women in order to cause harm to them. That's disgusting. That's literally the opposite of the point of having government. So I don't know what result you're seeking. But anyway, so I will be using my skills to assist whatever country I seek assistance with for seeking justice. And justice is very different than vengeance, keep in mind. I will soon be suing DHS, that is true, as well as Governor, well actually it might be a state of Oregon, but the Governor's Advocacy Office this time really fucked up. And that's really scary when we're talking about a advocacy office. Some SCOTUS members are up a creek, I heard, and that remains. Oh, you know what? I don't know if you can hear me because of the. Oh no, you probably can. Okay.
That involved things I said in the White House.
This is Trump rushes in motion to New York judge after SCOTUS rolling media's touch 15 minutes ago, 14-minute video. It's just in the background, but I don't really have any comment. You can read what I typed above, but
to get out of the Manhattan criminal conviction.
Yeah, so I'm not buying any of this media crap.
Scare us or.
So what I watched happen with the media reporting with the Biden-Trump debate, I no longer am confused. I'm 100% sure that everything is ran by money, and everyone's opinion is based on money, and who's paying them to say it. Even your TYTs and your David Pakmans, these guys, they're not the greatest people, actually, it turns out. I can get into more about that later. It hurts so bad. So, with the two extractions, the one on the top, they just did like a normal amount of shots, and it pulled it out right away, and it was like no big deal, and super fast, and the dentist was super fast and good no matter what. He did I was shocked. This is going to seem kind of mean, but I'm appreciative of any dentist because that's how bad our situation is in Oregon. When we need dentists, we can't have enough dentists. But this guy was younger and stronger, and his arm strength, I could tell it made a difference. And I was like, damn. But compared to an older dentist who's tried, I have some that are so hard to get out. The bottom one, I figured was going to be a super huge issue, and it was. He had to do 15 extra shots for the bottom one and all that, and he said he prescribed me an antibiotic mouthwash is what he called it, but with the mouthwash is the same stuff they give you for gingivitis, or it's just, and there's no pain anywhere in my mouth. This freaking tooth on the bottom over here, it hurts. So I'm a week out. It's been pulled out a week ago. I feel like I've made no progress for healing. The top one, there's like no pain. If there is pain, I can't feel it because it's disguised by the bottom tooth hurting so bad. Anyway, when he pulled my tooth, he prescribed me that mouthwash, and he said it could start hurting again because it'd been hurting so bad to where like I was like groaning, like we're talking 10 out of 10 pain. And but then it finally gotten to where it didn't hurt. So now after having it pulled, it's sending shooting pains back into my ear and down my throat again, like the whole right side's reinfected. So pulling that tooth just caused the whole infection to it's all inflamed, and like every single day has been excruciatingly painful. I'm still in excruciating pain. It's significant. It's just like the difference between these two extractions is night and day. It's polar opposites. Like there's this, the one up top is already halfway healed. Like it's like halfway close. I can feel it with my tongue. The other one, it feels like it's literally got a huge swollen like a rim around the whole hole that's still. Anyways, super fucking painful. And so I'm really looking forward to getting one more week down in my healing, because it hurts like it's like burning in a way. It burns every day, stings and burns all day long with like 10 out of 10 pain streaks going down my ear and down my throat on the right side only, not the left side at all. It's just a tooth. What was I gonna say though? About SCOTUS, right? Something I want to tell you guys that I don't think you guys realize about SCOTUS and the consequences of their own actions. So other SCOTUS courts look to them in other countries, and what SCOTUS is saying about the president, order. Like about the president being able to order, everything being official business and having to decide. Well, to me, that's kind of obvious. That's the obvious ruling. It's always been whatever is official business, and whatever isn't. So now we're in a predicament where we've got SCOTUS members that are blatantly, boldly not giving a shit about hypocrisy, about biases, about accepting bribes, just blatantly not giving a shit. And now there's to the point where they ruled against a 50-year precedent, and that's mental illness. We're talking about religious schizophrenia in a way. So anyway, what I believe SCOTUS members don't realize is that people have to flee our country and become refugees in other countries. It's a certain kind of refugee, right? It's not a regular refugee like because you went there because you want to work. It's the kind where you have to flee your country because your government is after you. It's a different word, and I can't think of it right now. But my point is, like, say I flee to Mexico, and Mexico's like, well, we just decided our SCOTUS government can tell our president he could kill anybody he wants. Anyway, so I'm saying you flee to another country, or even if you don't, whatever. That government's like, oh, you know what? We could take out President Trump, and it would be he's our political enemy, or President Trump's daughter or whatever, and just kill them and be like, yeah, but our country's literally following in the footsteps of your country and what it says, and we feel our SCOTUS members have decided that it's official business for our president to kill your president. So, or for our vice president to kill your vice president, or for our, you know what I'm saying? So SCOTUS members are really up a creek. They're up a creek without a paddle. Is that the saying? It's up shit creek without a paddle, right? Isn't that it's an old saying? And I heard so bad I can't even get it right. Keep in mind I'm in so much fucking pain right now. This is painful. I don't want to discourage anyone from getting dental work done. The dentist did an awesome job. Like, I had so much nervous pain before so it was like so much anxiety and nervous wreck before I went there, and I was like going to turn the car around, but I way over. So anyway, everyone go to the dentist. What I'm going through, everything is it's literally because the tooth I had was infected, and it went from 0 to 10 tooth infection in like no time at all. I was dealing with my foot. If my ear was bugging me and my throat and all that was bugging me while I was dealing with my foot surgery, I didn't notice it because I didn't have There wasn't enough pain. It just went from all of a sudden I'm kind of done with my foot to, oh my God, my tooth hurts. Oh my God, it just went from like what seemed like no infection to extreme infection within, a month. It was like there was no time, no warning, this tooth wasn't bugging me for years, and I finally went in. No, nothing like that. It just went from totally being a fine tooth to not being a fine tooth in like what felt like a day. I'm sure it wasn't, but anyway, I did at least get it. It's out, so please go to your dentist. Get your work done. My dentist did awesome. The pain I'm experiencing is because of an infection, which, by the way, just makes it even worse. Like, you really need to go to your dentist if it's infected. You need to get those in. Or your doctor, you guys. You can go to your doctor and also explain to them that you need antibiotics. If your dentist is too far away, or you can't get in, or they don't work with you, they don't listen to you, antibiotics are antibiotics. You can get them from anybody. It doesn't matter. Just get your antibiotics. Let them write it for you for your foot. Who cares? No, just kidding. Just get your antibiotics. Back before, it was, before Obama started helping us with I remember our healthcare system before Obama. I'm talking the healthcare system for the poor people. You couldn't even get dental work unless you had kids. So it didn't matter that you were poor and you qualified based on that. It was based on if you had children or not. It was so bad the way they ran it. There's miles and leaps compared to 20 years ago and 10 years ago. I promise you, I see massive changes. So don't be discouraged by that. But we have a long way to go. But I'm just saying, you don't realize I can remember when certain people couldn't go to the dentist because, anyways, that's what I was going to say. I was so desperate. I went to the sexual clinic and I had I was so desperate for antibiotics. Shit, I wasn't going to do another one, but I was cut off, and I just finally remembered what I was going to tell you. So 10 years ago, when I first got divorced, this is what I'm talking about. There's a difference between then and now and getting doctors to listen to you. There's been a whole huge change. 10 years ago, we couldn't get a single dentist to give us our antibiotics. I was harassed. Of course, I'm a different case because I'm being completely harassed by, literally everyone in Douglas County. So, people in positions of power. So you can't really count me as your average person. But anyway, I would go and get an exam because I had an infection or a little, whatever, and got antibiotics because my tooth was so fucking bad. And no one would listen to me at that point that I literally had to go get antibiotics just for as vaginal infection, because it was, what do they call that? Vaginosis. It's I think I might have it just to get fucking antibiotics, you guys, 10 years ago. And I remember telling my sister, well, Shannon, if they won't give you antibiotics, do you know where you can go? Oh, that's fucked up. Anyway, I'm in pain. I'm done. Oh. I also forgot to mention that as of right now, which is July 1st, today would have been my anniversary if I was still married. And also my little Pinterest album for eloping, except I'd really actually like my immediate family members to be there, but just them, and the kids and everything, because my family's never going to do anything, so if I don't force them, they're never going to go anywhere or do it. If I don't make it happen, it's never going to happen. So I kind of feel like I need to make my family go do something, go see beautiful art, history buildings, go, it's just a thought. But anyway, shit, my brain. It's really cute. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh my god, my pain. Oh, there's been no records from Ben Johnson, the guy I spoke with on the phone. It's been past 2 weeks, because that was on the 11th. So it's been, I'm hurting really bad though, so I could call tomorrow and maybe confirm if he's my caseworker, or what his job title is there, and then also, get more information about the records, but, which is pretty much what I figured was going to happen. So anyway, that's what I was going to say about the wedding in San Francisco. I was really thinking winter, but I actually don't like the Christmas stuff that's out everywhere. Because when it's, I mean, just for
I
picture
wonder,
reasons, when
because
it's about Christmas,
this
about
maybe is
Christmas
about
month,
what
so
I
I
was
want my
talking
wedding
about
to be
before
wedding.
July 1st, is what I'm
I feel
wondering.
like if there's all that Christmas stuff, it's just Christmas.
Because it all just kind of, like, the day
But then I
before this,
remember San Francisco's like never above 80,
because
even
me
in the winter,
taking
or,
it
I mean
month by
summer,
month,
so I was
and
thinking maybe
I
I'm
was
better
never
off
going to
doing a
do
summer
that,
wedding,
remember?
so I've kind of done a complete change of
I was
original
never going to
plans.
share this with anybody.
But I don't think I've
And
made
now
any
I've got
wrong
so much,
decisions
I
with the
can't,
outfits or
get
anything,
back
because
to
it's still, if I do
records
like a
from
morning,
above, so I'm
you know, like if we have to be to the courthouse at 8
moving
in
the
the morning
records to a
ready by
different
10,
spot
so that
so
we
I can
have
delete here. Supreme Court said if the president is exercising his core constitutional duties, then he is immune from prosecution. Obama killed an American citizen with a drone strike without due process. No one would argue that was not within his constitutional... Just click on this, I'm not sure. Oh, we do have more here. The Supreme Court said that if the president is exercising his core constitutional duties, then he is immune from prosecution. Obama killed an American citizen with a drone strike without due process. No one would argue that was not within his constitutional duties, but if he can kill that U.S. citizen without going to a judge, then he could kill any American citizen without going to a judge. Now the court says that cannot be reviewed because it was within his official duties. That also applies to any other president. So, as things stand, U.S. presidents can kill U.S. citizens without a trial? That is not hyperbole. Hyperbole? That already happened. Obama should have been held accountable. He wasn't. And now SCOTUS says he and other presidents cannot ever be held accountable for those actions. You gotta laugh about SCOTUS and them getting exactly what they asked for. Neither side will like this fact pattern, and they'll get emotional about Obama or Trump. But if you care about this country, it is a disastrous argument that the president should be above the law when conducting official duties. Well, you know how many countries have presidents, right?
Undo its conviction after Supreme Court.
You know how many countries have SCOTUSes, right?
11-minute video.
We can all do it, I guess, according to my country in America, the United States. They're saying, hey, guess what you can do in Mexico? Guess what a Mexican president can do to the United States president?
Spoke about the Biden debate with Trump. It was like, for me personally, it was bizarre. I did not quite understand why Biden was dissed on quite as hard as he was. Because I thought Donald Trump was just sound like a buffoon, a baffling lie. I mean, all it is, if lying is impressive to you, for me it is an absolute, I can't go anywhere with you if you're just lying. There's no room. Anyway, so I did a bunch of counseling. I looked up a whole bunch of pathological liar videos, and it was like perfect. And I had my counseling, my therapy, you could say, to remind myself that, these people are evil and committing sinful and immoral and engaging in evil. But anyway, so remember, I could see the media in unison report something that I don't even get or I don't agree with, but anyway, just seems very controlled by money. And okay, well, I'm going to pay for this opinion, so this is what you're going to write about, everyone. And then I've seen even the independents fall in line year after year after year. So obviously it's money, and anyway, but I just wanted to remind everyone that I do think they've got better. They have gotten better. I do believe me calling them out, if you want to say that, has helped at least. We'll see. Let's just hope it keeps improving.
Originalism and textualism has been replaced as the
do not serve the Constitution, they serve Donald Trump, and they should 100% be impeached and removed for their inability to faithfully execute their duties in office. And that's a point that my Democracy Watch co-host Mark Elias laid out.
Yeah, originalism and textualism has been replaced as by vibism, right? This is just like conservative vibes. They're just like vibing that Donald Trump shouldn't be kicked off the ballot. They're vibing that Donald Trump should have immunity. But the fact is, they are both similar cases in that in one instance, textualism and originalism would have kicked Donald Trump off the ballot, and in another case, it would not have given immunity to presidents. As you point out, there is in the U.S. Constitution a clear provision of immunity to members of the legislative branch. It's called speech and debate immunity. There is not immunity anywhere to be found in the Constitution for the President of the United States. And they created immunity that is not just what Donald Trump wanted, but Donald Trump wanted and then some. They gave him more in some senses that they wanted. And they have put in serious jeopardy not just the case in Washington, D.C. on January 6th, the Georgia case about January 6th. Lord knows in Florida, he doesn't even need it. Well, there he's just got...
To the point of Florida, Clarence Thomas, apropos of nothing, slipped in this little clause that I'm going to read to you right now. He said, in this case, the Attorney General purported to appoint a private citizen as special counsel to prosecute a former president on behalf of the United States, but I am not sure that any office for the special counsel has been established by law as the Constitution requires. So that's just a little nugget for Judge Cannon, who is right now litigating and adjudicating this issue of whether or not a special counsel can even prosecute this case, as she's deciding whether or not to dismiss it. And Clarence Thomas offered a little nugget to say, hey, Judge Cannon, if you dismiss this and it makes its way to the Supreme Court, you got at least one vote in your corner.
Oh, at least. I mean, come on. Got one vote in his corner. I think we all know. But absolutely. And so, this will have a cascading effect with regarding a number.
So Isaac just got home, and he's changing his clothes, so I better hurry. But this is MSNBC. 53 minutes ago, 9-minute videos. Toyota. Supreme Court conservative majority.
The court effectively creates a law-free zone around the president.
So there's two very significant facts. I realize the media is a really big hype, a really expensive hype machine, technically.
Financial gain above the interests of the nation.
Money.
The United States is the most powerful person in the country, possibly the world.
So there's two really important, shocking, smack in the face facts about the decisions Republicans are making where they're trying to take rights away from women within the health care, which everyone is explaining fucks up the health care system and the rights of doctors, and doctors aren't going to want to go to those states, and they're going to there's way too high a risk, and so you're going to end up with a thing where you have really, really good states with high functioning economies and money because the people are coming to these states, and you're going to have states, this is now. The differences I can see in 10 years and 20 years ago, 10 years from now, if this were to continue, Republicans don't realize this, but they're destroying themselves. Their party won't exist. They will be voted out because you will have less than, it won't be, it's just like this isn't me, I'm not seeing a crystal ball in the future. This is a factual, the way math works, the way voting works, the way everything works, putting all these factors together and putting the puzzle pieces together. It's quite shocking that the stupidity of Republicans, because it's a downward spiral of them destroying themselves, isn't that what we called capitalism? It's gotten to the point where it's a downward spiral. It will destroy itself. It will eat itself up, as in they will ruin. If they ruin the markets, nobody can spend. There's no money to buy their products, right? So it's like if they don't pay their workers enough wages to have money to spend it. I'm kind of laughing to myself going, but there's no way. Trump can only lose votes. He can't gain votes. This is a situation where SCOTUS, and they're turning precedent and everything changes so many factors, but the real facts are having states that have no bad doctors, bad schools, you guys. They don't have good infrastructure because they cheaped out everything. They don't, you're talking about a destruction of utter failure in which there's no way they get ahead. They just destroy, it just ruins themselves. So I'm just saying, I'm like laughing at people like thinking anybody's winning here. There's no such thing as, I always try to say this, war is bad for everybody because war is bad for everybody. There's nobody who's going to benefit from war except for maybe the two people on the top, the CEOs of whatever whatever gun company is running the war. So
part of the indictment that relates to him trying to use the Justice Department.
Yeah, it's a system in which, it's literally impossible for Donald Trump to become president. There's no way that he could gain. He will only lose votes again. It doesn't work that way. So I'm going to be, watching everything. But it destroys itself over the years and over the decades, too. You see what I'm saying? It's not a system in which they're going to be successful. It's a system in which they certainly will not be successful. So the hype is the hype, but the truth is, bad doctors leads to more deaths, bad schooling, where they want to put they're taking rights away from people. You know how people fled England because of that, and they came here to America to not have that? Yeah, it'll be the same thing in your states. They'll flee your states to come to other states, our liberal states. And we'll be flowing with the freedoms and the legalized weed and the workers, and we'll have workers, so our economy will be functioning. You see what I'm saying here? And that was just one point. I had another point, but I kind of forgot, so I'm going to have to come back to you when my brain kicks in.
Because if so, among other things, Richard Nixon...
Which could be a while. We all know.
Optimus with Ben Johnson and Costco about record requests, and also from June 11th or 12th, also called to confirm it. I was assigned to Cottage Grove. I have no caseworker, and it's not unusual to not have a caseworker, is what I found out. Yeah, they asked me to fill out a form. Like, I already filled out a form for these records. So now that I've documented all this, it's going to be interesting how all this looks, since it's going to be broken down point by point in the lawsuit. I've already done it many times. I'm assuming the only reason for asking me to fill out another form again is because I did not fill it out correctly. I am also aware it is the job of whoever is assisting you to help you fill out the form correctly.
Or whatever the fuck it was, and just was being retarded. And threatening, and just, like, being crazy, and, like, dangerous, and dramatic, and whatever. Right. And so, and I remember, it was like, me, Jen, and Cynthia. I think Jen's I have a lot of issues with Jen, and I think she's retarded, and she's a terrible mother, and I have a lot of fucking issues with Jen. Right. But in that moment, it was like me, Jen, and Cynthia versus the world, mostly my father, because it was like...
Yeah, I was just gonna let that stay there, honestly.
But I remember it was like my dad wasn't paying any bills. It was just me, Jen, and Cynthia paying bills. And what's funny is we caught him. He was telling us he was going to fucking work, and then we caught him still at the house. So he was lying about having a job for like months.
Oh my god.
Because we were always like, because it's just like, why don't you have money ever? He's like, I'm waiting for my paycheck. Just like over time, it's just like you're fucking just being a dick.
Yeah.
And so he fucking fucked up the house or whatever, and then it was our problem. Not really my problem. Obviously, my name wasn't on the fucking lease.
Right.
But like,
it was Jen's problem.
Right. But I was still like helping paying bills, and it was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I called. The whole point is I called the cops on him. So going back to the Sarah thing. He told her about that, but of course he told her his version of that.
Right.
And so he was like, I overheard them, and I overheard being like, I will not have any drama. I don't want him to do that to you again. And something about the cops got brought up. When I called
my mom literally called the cops on me one time, and I was like, what the fuck,
I remember that.
bitch?
I remember that. But something, I don't really remember exactly what the fucking conversation was, but I remember something about when I called the cops on him got brought up, and she was like, I won't have him do that to you again. And it's like, girl, if only you fucking knew.
They control the grown man.
And then he had a gambling addiction. Get this, he had a gambling
I remember
addiction.
that.
And he blamed it on me and said he was sending money to me and that I was like pissing it away or whatever when I was fucking struggling and save
Oh,
at
that's
this time. Like,
Johnson.
couldn't even afford my one-bedroom fucking shitty-ass shared house with fucking people that were like sexually
That's when you were gone for like 2
like
years. There was a time when you were gone for 2 years.
I had a roommate that wouldn't let me like shower or take.
Okay, so there's a website that you can go to and you can put in a search. So this one apparently is my last search, so watch this, you guys. And this is really helpful to find out like who still works where, if there's been issues that you think are concerning. See, so you can type in a name. And oh yeah, because I just typed that wrong. Okay, let's try this. Well, anyway, I can't remember. I have it somewhere where I clipped it and I shared it to my, it's on YouTube. It's a comment on one of my YouTube uploads. My YouTube, either it's a video, yeah, well, it would have to be a video if it's YouTube. So there's going to be a comment somewhere where Jody Meza, I think it's with a Z, Meza, and she's an employee. Well, we'll just try both. Search. Jody. So there's nothing's coming up right now as of today on this website for Jody Meza. Mesa. Go. Well, I don't know what that's about, you guys, but I will be looking into it. I do think there's been some foul play. Some serious foul play. Like criminal, like felony crime foul play. In my case, it's looking super criminal.
For my extraction, and I am doing better. It was so, it's still really painful, but the upper extraction, again, it just for like 2 days after it was extracted, it like formed like started closing, and so there was never any pain, or if there was, I never felt it, because the bottom one felt like
so keep in mind this is July 2024, this year. And these are just my messages to myself on my X account, where I document like appointments or criminal, like legal issues or personal issues, just things I need to remember, things that happen.
I think it was just so infected. And it's my ear. My ear is hurting still. My ear is still infected. My throat is infected.
Yeah,
Today,
I got worse.
I had alcohol, and as I drank, it burned all down my right side. It burned, and I thought, well, it's probably good because at least it just the whole area was infected. I mean, that too took out the whole right side from top of my ear to the bottom of my throat. The whole thing's inflamed, and anyway, so I made it to 2 weeks. The elections, that was really interesting. So, French, they went far left, which is awesome. I imagine it's going to look that way. I think that's going to be a lot more regular thing. It took a long time to get here, but the people are finally, at least some people are listening. We're making headway, okay? This is good news. This is very good news for me, personally. As someone who I feel like is being cyberstalked by Donald Trump because I'm good at politics. The whole America thing. America, America, America. So, brain. It's like trying to get my brain to kick. Oh, so the elections are going really good. That's really good news, is what I said. And see, my brain doesn't work that well. I keep going back to thoughts of my pain. Yes, my records. I have not gotten the records request yet. It's kicking in. Nobody sent me the request. I don't know if, this is just documentation. I've been calling, and I got a caseworker, and all of a sudden in Eugene, and told me to refill out the request. I've already filled it out enough. If you have the request. You're supposed to respond to the request. And she said to me, she specifically said that she's going to have to see what I'm allowed to have. So now I want to know, who is it she's asking, and who is allowed. What do you mean? I'm allowed to have all my records because they're my records. Who is it you're communicating with that's telling you that you can check to see what I'm allowed to have? You know what I mean? This Misty person. So when it comes down to the courthouse trial, now that I recorded it, I need to print what she sent me, the email. And maybe she is my new caseworker, and maybe she's great, you guys. Maybe she's going to finally put the paperwork in against these caseworkers down here in Roseburg for human trafficking. Which, by the way, I realized I figured out. I proved it, and it took a hell of a lot of work. And Britney Spears' case, I've been on it. Women's rights are going down the toilet because no one can respect a woman, because a man here in the United States of America has that hard of a time allowing women to have... Respecting women is not their thing, I guess. Anyways, so I figured out the human trafficking ring. So you know how you keep hearing in the news, they keep saying they're not making exceptions for rape, they're not making exceptions for this. Well, people who are exempt aren't getting their exemptions, and that makes it a human trafficking ring. You see what I'm saying? And they want to come to our house, and they want to harass us, and the whole time we're supposed to be exempt. So our caseworkers are trying to force us into these work programs that we are exempt from. And then they harass... Well, I am in a moment where I'm not crying right now, but like I'm holding back my tears because I had a dream, and like this past week, I just realized because of how, and you guys can hear the conversation with Ben Johnson, right? The guy from Cottage Grove, who then all of a sudden I have someone named Misty with no explanation. A caseworker, who's not my caseworker. They haven't sent me the records yet, and they haven't returned my call. So from my perspective, that to me makes it very clear that it's a cover-up case, and I'm correct. I'm sorry, I'm just really like, I was human trafficked. Holy fucking shit, this has really happened. I'm trying to report it, have been trying to report it for 5 years, 10 years, but 5 years of like, constantly, and these guys at these places that are getting paid with tax-paid money are trying to cover it up. It's so bad, you guys, that what is happening right now is human trafficking. They know they human trafficked me. Ben Johnson is one I am now convinced that Ben Johnson knows he human trafficked me and my children. And when they did it to me with Asia, it had already, the abuse circle had already been well established. That Shane Hamilton was abusive. He already abused Isaac. These caseworkers played human trafficking politics with my life for 10 years in front of everyone. I am so fucking pissed that it just came to my realization that they are aware that they human trafficked me, and they're trying to cover it up as I'm publicly reporting about it, and then they want to take my rights away for reporting about it. I don't even have the rights on my social media account. They're human trafficking. You are watching it happen.
My nerves.
Fuck.
I mean, what are you supposed to do when people are doing this? Yeah. How are you supposed to feel?
I will murder. I don't give a fuck.
I would too. When you're in duress and you're being human trafficked and someone's trying to like literally human traffic you, did you know that like you kind of have the right to kill somebody who's holding you? It's actually a thing. We'll go over that more.
I don't feel like I said
soon.
What I said.
It's a law code. Duress.
Instead, I should have said, I have a right to protect myself from being human trafficked. So that would mean if you are engaged in human trafficking, it is my right as a human being living on planet Earth in the United States of America to protect other children and myself from being human trafficked by the person that maybe hasn't been proven through a court system, but has been proven through records. So my court system, the one that works, not the one that SCOTUS, the people that were not elected, they were actually, this is called minority rule. Minority rule here in the United States of America with SCOTUS. It's basically trash and worthless. Get rid of it. It's a cancer now. It does no good for humans. It's literally a human trafficking ring now. So I have a right to protect myself, even if that means I have to now protect myself as you try to human traffic me again. And if you end up in death from me trying to protect myself, that will not be the result of my fault, because I'm just trying to protect myself. You see? So anyway,
right?
These people,
as like if I was president,
even if it's a police officer, and I'm 100%
is that how that would work? Because we can all be our own president. We can all have our own SCOTUS members. We can all use judges. We can all decide that we're president who have the right.
He's a lawyer, and I left a bad comment.
Everything's going to be in our,
a bad review on his public comment, which wasn't.
See how it doesn't really work when you apply it worldwide, when you apply it to everyone?
Human traffic me and my children for 10 plus years. God help all of you. But he's not going to help you. That's what I'm saying. If it's a he and it's not, it's a she, and there is no God, so it doesn't really matter, right? So anyways,
exactly.
This is human trafficking. I'm fucking 100% like...
This is the moment that I'm like getting pissed, because now I realize it's a human... Let me explain it to you a little bit better. So, these people from records from 12 years ago will not give me these records. So I kind of blame myself, right? So I'm trying, like, okay, Nancy, it must be you again. So I try to get these records again. And then everyone now sees what happened. So that's the moment that I'm like, oh my God. This is them trying to cover it up, and I didn't do anything wrong. It is that.
Jokes I'm making in the public. This is private. This is my private property. This is like my diary. This is where I'm allowed to get my feelings out. So if I said it publicly, that would legally be an issue. So this is me just, correcting any employees at X or anyone cyber stalking me that, or, participating in the human trafficking. So basically, I just want to clarify, I already know I'm being human trafficked and have been. That is not something I wasn't aware of. And I'm 100% aware, and you'll see through my documentation, I've been documenting this for the last couple of years and talking about it. I know the employees at Roseburg know they're politically harassing people and not following policy. 10 years, I'm exempt from work requirement for 10 years, and the only thing they did for 10 years was tell me that I needed to be punished for not fulfilling their job requirements. And then I needed to be punished and harassed and visits at my house, and they need to take false reports with no evidence, because all of me not fulfilling my requirements for the job requirement means I must be on drugs, I must be this, I must be that. So it's all defamation. It's all, I'm exempt from the whole thing. So now I realize how I didn't, I knew all this, but now I'm coming together with how much money the lawsuit, the war amount will be, because it's 10 years of being exempt, and then having 10 years of going, oh, well, you know what, we actually do have this program, maybe we need to make sure we are putting her in this program where she gets extra funding. She's exempt because she's abused, so we don't need to stress her out, make her car break down, where we make her drive from Roseburg, or from Drain to Roseburg, just for this counseling appointments that my vehicle couldn't handle because I'm a poor person. So, and I have stress issues about riding in vehicles and strangers and stuff because of being raped and all that, and because of the way Department of Human Services and the police and all that treated me. So they've damaged my relationship or my ability to trust them based off them not following policies. So then, on top of that, every opportunity they had, they doubled down in a... So my
case is 10 years of being human trafficked, because that is behavior. It's the length of time. It's the fact that they didn't follow policy, which is me being exempt, and wanted me to have to do a work program that I'm exempt from, which is forcing me, which is human trafficking. Anytime you're trying to force a person into a program they are exempt from, you're human
so
trafficking.
much worse than that, because what's really happening is that, and you have to remember, my tooth is hurting and I can't even,
I asked you about specifically, and
so
then you
just
didn't even
bear with
try
me
that.
here, but
your response back
what's
to like maybe
happening
the governor's
is not
advocacy
only are you
office or
exempting
whatever
this
is that,
woman, you're putting extra strain on her,
she
but this
needs to
woman
be
already
punished.
has
We
extra
need to
strain
have a
because her
program where we
abuser
punish
is
people
attacking her
fulfilling our
for 10 more
requirements
years,
that
or
they're
in my
exempt
case,
from.
but that's going to be
These
every woman's
programs,
case
these
with her
job
abuser.
programs where people
So not
are
only was I
fucking human
I couldn't
trafficked for
like
10 plus years.
protect myself from my
So,
abuser because
anyway,
these people
I
were
realized-
threatening me
so all this
and
I
my
know.
rights
This is all
for the
something I
program
know.
unless I did their
realize the
human
caseworkers
trafficking
in
for them.
Cottage
Unless I
Grove
became their human trafficking
are
victim,
aware
even
of
though
their
I'm an
same
exempt.
behavior and didn't
So now I'm being harassed by them and my abuser together. Now they're in unison together because they don't want to exempt victims. Yeah, I'm still pissed.
What is it? 165, 122. Anyway, the law codes for when it turns into human trafficking. When no one wants to follow the law and everything's about a political opinion.
So when you have 10 years of about 20 different state workers committing about 150 examples, there's going to be about 150. They're like, well, why did you cause controversy when you made this decision? Why did you cause it? When it happens over and over and over and then it becomes an actual, the things that are happening to the victims due to this abuse. And let's be correct, it's abuse. This behavior is abusive.
A human trafficking ring and lying about it. That's correct. I'm sure. Please report this to the FBI because,
as I've been trying to do. I'm sure it's making a few people pretty uncomfortable how long I've been trying to report this.
Cottage Grove is aware.
It sure did make me uncomfortable.
What happened to me, and it's on them, apparently, to either fulfill my paperwork. Okay, so this is a situation that just happened with my son. So I'm just going to, talk about it. Because maybe this could be something, later I could talk about that happened and go over if I ever have an opportunity. The thing is, my son isn't listening to me, and maybe I'm not listening to him, and I'm obviously a little grouchy this morning, so I can definitely you could factor that into, I'm self-aware. I could know I'm a little grouchy. I woke up just being grouchy, which has nothing to do with my son, as you know, because I've documented here. So, but when people are grouchy, they're grouchy, and we all take it out a little bit without meaning to, because when we're grouchy, we're grouchy. So I'm trying not to be grouchy, but this is a subject I've talked to my son about several times. So I need to figure out how to communicate this with him so that in a non-offensive way, because I do think this is an issue where it has to do completely with, okay, so I'm not his age. I am 40, going to be 45, and he is 25. And it's a difference, not just of age, but we might as well call it different realms. Because of the way things change with the integration of the internet compared to how I grew up. I mean, these are two entirely different in ways you can't even comprehend yet, the differences of my generation to my childhood to his childhood. So, in me growing up, so my son got upset with me and he said I'm being rude because I said, Isaac, remember, I don't like it when you keep putting your phone in my face. And he left the room and he got upset. And I do feel bad. I tried to say, I'm not, Isaac. And he's like, I'm not trying to be rude. And he's like, but you are being rude. So this is where, one of those things is I'm not trying to say, okay. So for me, at 45, it was considered, we didn't have cell phones. We did not have the internet. It wasn't a thing where someone walked up to you and shoved a phone in your face every day. Or every 5, I don't mean every day. I mean every 5 seconds. I want to show you this, I want to show you this. Then you don't even know what's being shown to your face. So in my generation, that was considered rude behavior. So if you walked up to someone,
Which one was I on?
Oops, my son walked in. Anyway, what I was going to say, so in my generation, he got a Snickers Doodles and left. But,
in my generation, like, keep in mind, this is how I grew up. You're not changing me. And I get why they have Gen X, Gen Z, because we are who you're going to find a bulk behavior. I do get the whole purpose of that whole having people labeled it, because it is true that not everyone, that's the problem with labels. I understand that too. It's not everyone, but in general, you're going to have a bulk of society from this age group that has, these are basic morals or basic standards or basic. So for me, it was considered rude. And if you wanted to show someone something, they were teaching us, like, I'm not saying we all did and it wasn't all, but the general thing is like, you had to say may I. It was like, oh yeah, so to go to the bathroom, our teacher said you couldn't until you said it right, and you had to say, may I go to the bathroom? It was like, I gotta go pee, can I have the key? We had to specifically say it correctly. May I use the restroom before we would get the key? Like, our teachers, that's what teachers would never do nowadays, They might remind you of it, but they wouldn't force, It was just, so for me, when he shoves that thing in my face, he doesn't realize it's an instant reaction for me to be like, it's just, I don't like things shoved in my face, because in my generation it was considered rude. So when he does it repeatedly, which is something in his generation they just do. I don't even think he means it rudely. It's not like I think that. I understand we come from entirely different generations where they grow up with this, and that is something they just do. But my personality knows, for me, or my interpretation that's automatic is that, hey, you are not respecting my space. You should say, may I show you something? Because what if it's something I don't want to see? A picture, you know what I mean? Like, those are the thought processes we were taught to grow up with. And these guys don't have any of that. There's no, to light my phone up before I could find the remote. But so I'm enjoying music, trying to get in a better mood. I made some phone calls, left some messages again. Look forward to hearing from somebody. So I was like, sometimes I say things and I say them in just the right way, and I'm so this is a skill that I don't necessarily see in Elon, that I see in myself. Let me put it that way. Like, I can say all what I say, and then I love it when the person comes back and like whatever it is these caseworkers came up with, for what bullshit reason. This is before Jan 6 happened. This is 2019, 2020, 2021. So, I mean, and that's just the last time. Because now they're old. They finally were, age turned 18. There was nothing he could do after that. And there was no, I mean, there was a lot he did after that, excuse me. But, I mean, he can't say, I can't see my daughter. You know what I mean? So, that control that he had up until that point was gone, and mentally, and he knew that, and I knew that, and it was, that's what I'm trying to say. But, like when I heard, I recorded Isaac saying the thing about his dad and the housing, and it was like, Isaac came back into my room. It's like, he wasn't talking about this. He was talking about something totally different. But he was like, sometimes when I say things out loud and I hear it, and then I'm like, he's like, sometimes I'm just like, oh, that's what it was. He was talking about Pearl Jam. And he said Pearl Jam really loud, and I was, the band. And then he's like, oh my God, I never realized what that meant before. Oh my God. He's like, I've said that band name so many times and never ever once occurred to him that that's what it meant. So anyways, my son was like, Pearl Jam, I can't believe I didn't know what that was. So anyways, I can't believe I didn't know what Pearl Jam meant. And he was like disgusted, but also, I mean, he just was like kind of like shocked that he said it so many times or thought of the band name or listened to them and never really like thought about what Pearl Jam meant, which he realized now was like, must have been sexual. Anyway, so when I recorded Isaac saying that, it was like, I wonder, for me, it was like, does he realize that's what his dad did to me over and over and over, to grand effect. And that I think my 2 children for like 5 years were mentally messed up and had abusive like feelings, like, you need to get a job, Mommy, because that's all they ever heard their dad say, because their dad needed to make them say those things to me, or only think that, because he didn't want to have to ever pay me money. So it's just a way for him to, teach them how to talk down to me, while going around telling everybody, we don't do that here. Anyway, we don't talk bad about spouses when that's all he does. Not to mention my kids come back talking bad about Jennifer, Tate's mom, Shane's other kid, because, that's how I know. It's like, dude, I know you talk shit all day long, because these kids come back saying mad dog shit. That's just disrespectful no matter what. So, not that some of it's not true, I'm not saying that, it's a clear hatred for women and disrespecting women's rights. Human rights abuses are happening here. There's a disregard for the law and rights of women in Douglas County that is obscene.
Rampant.
And
I love
so
that
sometimes
I
I just
have
love
been
it when I
able
hear
to
these people say
document
these
a
things, or when they try
good
to say
chunk of
something
it
back about what I've said, it's like, oh, I
recently.
love to hear you say it. Oh, I love to hear you say it. Because sometimes it might take them 10 minutes later or whatever after they've said it, and they're like, oh. Like, whatever reason they came up with, I had the legal right on my side. So whatever reason it was schizophrenic in nature, period. It was biased to the point of these people have schizophrenia
Hate crime
against their clients. They're
is
that
what it
against
is.
their
It's hate
clients.
crime.
But they're being tax paid to represent us.
It's
but
a
they don't
biased
represent us.
crime,
They have
which makes it a
schizophrenia
hate
towards us
crime.
because
Because
they
the
think
only
we're
reason
all
why
on
you're
drugs
doing
or
it
we're
is
all
because you got a
guilty or
bias
we're
that's
all...
so bad that you didn't even give a
There's
shit
no
about not,
representation
giving,
happening. So it's being
following the law
used
against these
as
people
a
you were
human
completely fine
trafficking
about committing crimes to
ring
these
rather
people.
than not abusing.
Because you hate them. Well, that was extremely interesting. Something makes way more sense now, and some things really clearly don't make sense now. I have to record my conversation again due to leaving a number in it, and then can share but tooth hole hurting today. I'm not sure what that was about. Must have been.
So
It's
I had
probably
like
a phone
20-minute
call.
conversation with this lady.
So whatever I did that
recorded
day.
it, but I actually left a phone number in it. My tooth it's like throbbing again really bad.
Yeah. So I remember my
I
tooth.
just went to the store. It's
It
hot
wasn't
out,
that bad.
like,
It finally got better
anyway,
when I finally was about to get it pulled, and then I got
so
it pulled, and
I just learned some
the
stuff
whole
that I
thing
did
got
not know
re-inflamed
this
again.
entire
It was
time.
awful.
But some things make way more sense, and some things make actually like way like it makes some things way worse and not make sense. So, just a quick note that I can give you that I picked up from the conversation. One, like my son tried to come in like 4 times while I was still on the phone. I cannot, I'm telling you, it is so, that has to be ADHD because I cannot keep I can have so much a harder time, I think, than the average person keeping my train of thought. I think it is ADHD, like mental, the thing where I can't focus. Like I do fine until like somebody tries to interrupt me, like which happens repeatedly, because when you have kids, or my kid's 25, but I have such a hard time. So you can hear that in the conversation, number one. But number two, you're going to hear this lady tell me that the only person that can access my TADVS records is me and the judge, and that's it. And the caseworker has to sign off on releasing these records to me, which I can legally share publicly. Okay, so it makes sense in the way that I had no idea this entire time. A police officer has no access to TADVS records, which makes you'll hear me in this conversation be like, then how the hell are they making these decisions? And my mom said exactly the same thing when I explained it to her without even hearing the conversation. She came to the exact same conclusion I did within like a second. So the police have no access to these records, which is shocking to me. In fact, this whole time I thought the only people that had access to those records were the caseworkers and the police. And not even a judge would have access. It would just be like through it would just be like limited. Anyway, so I'm the only person, but then it makes more sense why the sheriffs would fuck up so bad. But it makes way less sense so that means the caseworker, what reason on God's green earth would they have to not give me those records in all these years? That makes no fucking sense. You see, what she was explaining to me is that in order for that police officer to know, is I have to get the records and I have to give it to him. And even me telling him, if it's a cop, it's like, say I'm a cop, sorry lady, but your word is cool, but can you give me the paperwork? So and then it's like solid, right? Which, I mean, I understand that. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, how the fuck are these caseworkers then not giving us our records? Jeez, and how are they making these decisions without having... That's the first thing they should be looking for when somebody makes a report. Right? This is crazy. Anyway,
I'm going to put this down for a day, and I'll get to it tomorrow.
So, obstructing government official.
Okay, so this is something I keep saying and I forget. Like, I don't go into deep detail when I say this to someone, but like, me personally, I will not post your address or phone number unless it's like a business phone number or your work phone number, which is already public because you're like a state worker. Just public access information like the yellow pages. So if you post it on social media, that's absolutely, people post that on websites on the internet all the time. You can access, you can look it up on the internet. So it's like you can't punish someone for something, you know what I mean? That now we're getting into the person who's doing the punishing has schizophrenic thoughts about someone, right? Because they're trying to punish them for something that everybody else is doing. So now we're getting into, I don't like this person. I have a bias so extreme against this person. Anyway.
Hate crime.
Okay, so for me, I personally, like, now when I say that, I will not post your personal phone number, address if you live there. That means your current phone number or post office. If it's on a report and it's from 10 years ago and you don't live there anymore, I don't care. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't cross out your social security number, because that obviously is still the same number and it's not going to change. You know what I mean? So, and now, hear me out. Even if I hate your fucking guts, which would mean something like my ex-husband or his new wife, I wouldn't do that to
I only
anyone
don't like
because
her
I don't
because she
think that's
abused my
appropriate.
children.
Now,
It's
that's not an
it's
appropriate
not
thing
like
to do.
I
But
would.
the reason why is because my daughter could be at that address. You know what I mean? Like, I would
Right.
personally, I
Even
would.
if I hate
That was
you.
what I thought at the time of during certain things. Okay. So,
It just goes to show you the difference.
because I'm not very good at communication back on Facebook, I remember posting like stuff from my case, because it was like, I don't know how to communicate to the police that this is what's happening.
Well, when
Because I
they're
can't communicate with them. They're not listening very well
Right.
to us. And so I would just I said, you know what, it'd be better just post the thing. And then people on my social media would be like, okay, anyway, so, what was I saying? Yes. So that was my personal opinion. I wouldn't post your address even if I hated you, if you currently live there, because it just, to me, that was just made sense, okay? But it just depended on, you know, what it is. I might post it, like, maybe not, but not public is what I mean to say. I mean to say that different. Like if I shared it with a few friends I have that's not public, that would be different. But on a social media site is what I mean. I think that those are two totally different types of things. First of all, I would agree. And so then anyway, so I'm saying all this, but then it turned out none of that fucking mattered. Because you can just, if you have an issue with each other, and, you know, that runs through the scanner with the police, and the police aren't allowed to give that out. So as I'm talking to this woman who worked for someone within the Department of Human Services in Eugene, you know, she's saying our federal rules are all this is different. TADVS records are all different. All that's different, are totally different requirements than the police. But it's like, I just wondered if people realized, no, I might have personally had that belief myself, and maybe other people on my social media would, like, question what I was doing or whatever, but it turned out it didn't matter, because that's happening anyways with the police department. You can put that could be posted public.
So people
you
were
know,
complaining
how
about
are you
there being
damaged?
addresses
It turns out that
in
is
police
actually
reports,
legal.
and then if
That
I
is
post that
the police
public,
are giving you your record.
is that illegal? It's not
You know,
illegal.
It would be
at all.
if you said something
And so,
that wasn't true. Maybe you made a whole
my point
paragraph
is, as
up
far
and
as
you wrote a
my
whole
address
paragraph
is
along with the
spread
report,
everywhere.
convincing
There's
people
no
that this
reason to
report
hide
meant
my
this and it
address
wasn't really
anymore
true.
because, trust me,
That would
you
be
can
what you
get
could sue
it
for
super
defamation
easy.
for, but not for actually releasing the report.
It's even
You could
in,
say this
the
person
yellow pages
lied,
from back when we
you
used
would
to
be
not have the
defamation
internet.
based
There,
on what
you
they
won't because we
wrote,
lived
not
here
what
for
the
that
report said,
long.
right?
So,
Or
it kind of
what's
changes
in
the
the
way you
report
have
could
to
be
handle
just what the
things, or,
person
your
said, not a
expectations on
fact,
certain
right? It
privacy
was in a
rights,
police
right? Like,
report.
it's,
So there's different ways of looking at things, right? So let me clarify. So I went through all these processes, which I found out none of it mattered. You could do it anyway.
I was trying to, be careful. Is that illegal? Is this, what, am I not supposed to do that? And it turned out, none of it mattered.
Withholding TADVS records
Yes,
from police
you
officer
can,
makes
and then
no
let the
sense
person
to me
sue you.
ever in
And
any
anyone
situation,
trying
because
to
the
tell you
only
you don't have a
person
right,
allowed
someone trying to control your account because they're worried about your
arrest this
post is
person or
ill, that is
prosecute this
criminal.
person or
No
make
one's
a
allowed to, like the
case
thing that
against this
happened with
person, or at
Britney
least start a
Spears
case that could maybe end up being 10 years
case.
long,
I'm going to
would
talk
be a
about
police
that
officer. So the one person who should
in
have those
my
records are always a police
September
officer. So my brain
recording.
automatically assumes those are the one people that have
Not
access
this
to those
one.
records, even maybe beyond your current caseworker, right? Like, who would have access? So after discovering the only person that has access is me and the judge. Okay, so if I've been asking you for these papers for 10 years because I think the cop needs it too, do you see what I'm saying? There's a massive failure of my caseworkers at Department of Human Services to cooperate with me and my needs and not ask me the right questions, not provide me with the right information. And it's not always necessarily their fault. I understand that. I'm not trying to blame. But it's like, okay, now we're talking about something so serious as DVS records that should have been all turned over to the right people at the beginning of my case when I had them. So, because otherwise, how else are you making decisions? There's no way you could be making decisions for me that are in my best interest unless you're including the facts that go back to the facts of what person you're dealing with.
Right. Well,
right?
It's worse than that. So the caseworker shouldn't be communicating about you and making decisions for you without your knowledge, ever.
So you would have to be referring to us.
Without your consent and your knowledge, that's not supposed to be happening. So when that is happening, you really have to ask yourself how that came to be.
DVS records. Right? That's a history of putting children in unsafe situations that continued on for 10 more years.
Right.
Because cops don't know that they need to be making cases against people that have TADVS records for parenting reasons, because the kids could get hurt. And they might take the kids and try to use the kids to threaten them to not pursue, do you see what I'm saying? So the dad, or in my case it's the dad, and then it turns out by records case, 90% of the time it will be the dad.
That's a stat about abuse. That's an abuse stat.
Without having a legal right to.
Towards women hatred.
That threat and wouldn't return the child and made the child think things about me that aren't true. Like, I don't have the right. He won custody or whatever. I'll give you the money if you just sign this paper and say this, Asia, then I'll give you money. Because he owes me, the mother, money for child support and alimony. And don't sue me for this money. Don't sue me for defamation. Don't sue me. So, you're putting women in a massive, dangerous situation when, number one, you don't give out those records to the police. Number two, DHS people have no business.
Now you don't even want me to have them to give them to the police. You just want one judge to have it? That has nothing. Excuse me?
Cannot be responsible for making decisions about how to treat me with the police. Okay, the police can't be going to DHS and going, I don't really like this girl calling us. We got concerns about this child over here. Maybe, do you guys got any of them TADVS records for us over here at the sheriff's office? Okay, I'm sorry, and the only thing they cared about was the stupid fucking work program I'm exempt from, and the only thing
10 years plus
that I needed to do was get the records over to the police so that I could prevent my children from being further abused, and for myself from being further harmed from not collecting the money that's owed that I need to take care of my children and my housing and my situation, which I'm owed.
Which makes it went on for 10 years.
Like Social Security, people want their Social Security money. Well, I'd like to have my alimony money. okay? And I'd like to not be threatened, and I'd like to not have my children, like, removed and not go to school and everything and get further abused when there's TADVS records that the police should have had the first minute I had them. Because who are the DHS workers going to arrest him and put him into jail? Do they have one of those for Shane Hamilton? For TADVS record people? Do they? Do they? Do they? Do they? But oh my God!
Welcome to our trash revolution.
Trash revolution!
Oh my God.
This is a trash revolution.
Awesome.
That was awesome!
That was amazing.
That was amazing!
Wait, Eric Adams.
Can't even.
He's crazy.
Irregardless.
Can't even not
Okay.
laugh.
Earlier this week, New York City Mayor Eric Adams introduced the next step forward.
He introduced the next step forward for the
Referring to
city, or the country,
Trash revolution.
or the country, or the United States of
The trash
America.
revolution
The next step forward is the United
simply
States of
means
America.
that some buildings in New York City will begin using trash cans. I
Yes!
gotta say,
Yes!
spurred by the government, as fast as the speed of light.
It's a little bit easier if you just claim credit for a thing that already exists. Well, look, as long as it solves a problem.
As long as it solves a problem.
Feet. Most people do. And mine are
I do too! I do too! I see too!
Okay.
But like sometimes I put my skin foot in the shoe, and it's just like there should be something else. It gets sweaty, so I developed a cloth covering for the foot.
Oh my God, is this the sock revolution?
It's the new sock revolution.
Woo!
And
Woo!
pushed it.
You gotta make sure that the Zoomers see the socks.
100%
Yeah.
press conference coming soon.
Can we watch that cold open again, please? It was
Yes!
So good.
Yes! Do it again! Do it again! Do it again! Do it again!
Okay,
By the way,
Do it again! There's the trash can. We're opening up the trash can, and now we're putting the trash inside of the trash can. People are clapping. Yeah!
welcome to our
Welcome to the trash revolution.
Okay. Well, that does not go down.
An idiot. All right, to you, Elon Musk received to resign. I didn't know anything about Donald Trump getting shot in the ear until my brother Rick told me. So I guess that was Sunday, July 14th. I last texted my sister about coming over Sunday around 2 o'clock. I told her my dad and Rick would have been working on a new pump because they broke the old one. She said, no, too tired anyway today, be tomorrow. News said it happened at 3:15 my time. So I was deep into my music videos when it must have happened. And I wasn't even watching the news at the time. Kind of funny that I had to be told since I'm the one usually telling people recent news. On the weekend, I tried to force myself to stay off the news more and watch travel videos and my music videos. Just to be clear, I didn't know for several hours after it happened. Also, to be clear, I don't even care a little bit.
All right,
Facts.
so
Facts are
now that I've
facts.
seen more videos and everything of the shooting at the rally of Donald Trump, he shot him in the ear. So I've seen the pictures of the shooter now. I know he's a Republican. I hear people saying they're trying to, they think that there was something about a shooting with Ronald Reagan and it made him more popular. But I don't think this is going to happen in this. I really strongly don't see Trump. Anyway, but for several days now, see, I had my tooth pulled out, and for several days I've been saying my ears whooshing. I've been telling people, I'm in pain, my ears whooshing, even though the tooth hole's doing better finally. There's still a ton of swelling in the ear and the
infection
throat,
still
and it
got,
hurts
a
really
lot.
bad.
I had to get
whooshing every day, all day long.
it's like a whole 3 month
So when
period,
he
3 month
shot him in the ear, I
long
just thought,
issue.
oh no. It was like an instant, oh God. I've been staying off the dating sites. I haven't been on those, and
it just, when it's a political year, for me, it just almost isn't worth it. I can't, so I don't want to make... So it just happened, Ben. So there's no factor there, because I did worry about who am I talking... You don't know who you're talking to, and the climate for this right now is just so bad, so I just avoided it altogether for months. So that doesn't have anything to do with it. But then the ear thing, I was like, oh, God. But it turns out that, that doesn't mean anything, because after everything I've seen, he shot 8 times, and it doesn't appear to be that he aimed for his ear like on purpose. That wasn't like that's my, from my opinion right now, is it doesn't appear to be, I don't know. You see, we still don't know, but then there's 8 shots, only one of them hits Trump in the ear. Other people got hit, I guess. Anyways, so I, just for a second, I was like, oh God, but I don't know. I don't think it's, I think it's unrelated.
Currently experiencing cyberstalking harassment attack by Donald Trump, team security, or who? Am I suing Donald Trump for human trafficking? Yeah, I had like massive issues after this. Like our internet, it was just like, my Wi-Fi extender that ships from my company called Wi-Fi on steroids is causing harm. My Wi-Fi extender. Oh, I got it. This is when I got the new Wi-Fi extender. Yeah, it just like it was so weird that it would say excellent, and it would just, excellent, but then like, who is doing this attack right now? Who? Yeah, who? I still don't know, so, I've been attacked, it's happening again. Why is my TV, my cell phone, and my tablet all not able to connect to my Wi-Fi extender that says excellent Wi-Fi? So I ended up having to get a new Wi-Fi at this time. Like the next day. So whatever happened, it was like, oh, shut the ear, then like all this cybercrime, and the next thing, my Wi-Fi. It was crap. I had to get a new one. It's gone zone. And we got a new one and it worked. So it was like, oh no, it was just, I don't know why that happened the very next day or whatever, but that's just, as of right now, as I review this, I actually forgot about that. So, because now I've had the new Wi-Fi extender for a couple months, so it's like, well, if you just forget those types of things that turn out to be like, oh, that is really interesting, now that I see that. Brand new pink Samsung tablet that Isaac bought me is saying connected to internet without internet. Cell phone and TV will connect to my mom's Wi-Fi, but not my Wi-Fi extender on the same internet line. This has happened before with my Wi-Fi extender, where it won't work for a day or so, and then it does again, which would mean it is not logical, that it is not an attack. Approximately 10 p.m. Sunday, July 14, 2024, my Wi-Fi extender stopped acting correctly. 2 hours later, still saying excellent Wi-Fi not connected. Google said it is an issue with Wi-Fi extender box, most likely. It seems awkward that it has done this before, and then it starts working again next day or whatever. It doesn't solve anything for anyone at all.
Okay, quickly. I still don't feel good. My right side, where my ear, like the way back in my throat, like where the ear, all that, it feels like swollen. Of course it has, but it's like, hurts.
Isaac looked in for a while, so he's on a break from work more in a few minutes.
Okay.
Isaac's the one who got me the new Wi-Fi extender. Isaac has been a real hero. My savior. He's in the story of Beauty and the Beast. Well, he always tells me I'm not allowed to say that.
It's not much, but...
Because he's my son. I get it, but it's like, oh, come on. He's my beastie.
Yes, so, coincidences.
What do I need a man for?
And one just happened here at my house recently that is just... stupid. Laurel and Hardy, like, my mom and I were busting up laughing. It was just so stupid. But you know that minute where I was like, God, my freaking ear, and the only person I really told is like my daughter, like, so it was like, I kind of had a little bit of like, oh my God, not again. But, like I already said, it was really, the shooting Donald Trump in the ear. Another coincidences happen. I'm about to tell you one, okay? It's really unlikely he was aiming for his ear. So, you know what I mean? It was just for me, my own personal, I was like, oh my God, no, not again. Anyway. mom. My mom's doing the dishes the other day, and she's got sink water, and she's like loading the dishwasher, but also washing some by hand. But so she's got the sponge, and she lifts it up, and I'm walking by, and it's a really small kitchen, so I have to walk like right next to her. And I don't know if the sponge is completely soaked wet, like she just pulls it out, doesn't wring it out, but whatever. So she must be holding the corner of it, I'm thinking, is what happened. And so she goes to swing her arm, and I don't know how, and I'm telling you, on point, like did not miss. It was perfect. Somehow landed exactly under my foot. I was wearing my sandal, thank God, but when I stepped on it, water goes this way and that way, the whole squish water, I slip a little bit. And I'm not expecting it. My mom, no one's, it was just like the most, we were just supposed to laughing. Because it was like, what? How the hell?
Cool.
It was literally just an accident. I watched my mom do it. I know it, and I seen it. I was behind.
So also my Wi-Fi box is still not working. I said it was really unlikely the shooter... Oh, I said it was really unlikely the shooter was aiming for DT ear, in my opinion.
Also, I made a really cute... I picked out makeup. My son does... we watch the drag show, and he's got me super into it. We both really love it, and it's something we do together. I'm not like a makeup person. I use the same brand and color of makeup I've used since I was a teenager, and I'm 40. I'm going to be 45 in a few more months. In October. So I picked out really cute makeup. Anyway, before I picked out like a couple cute little things, and I was going to be happy with that. And now since Isaac and Kurt, he kept talking about makeup, I actually went and looked, and I found a cute... It's just really cute. It's kind of expensive, but I like too. It's not creepy. Not stuff's some stuff's $40 a bottle. Some stuff's $16. Some stuff's Walmart stuff. Some stuff's for $5. But it's really cute. It is cute. And there's one more thing. My Wi-Fi box still won't work. It's being a little bitch. But it's blinking like it's working. It picks up on some devices, but nothing ever happens, and now it doesn't pick up at all at any of the devices. There was something else I was going to say. Oh, I had 2 more phone calls today from Misty and then somebody from the governor's advocacy office. One came right after the other, which makes me wonder, they must communicate with each other before they make these calls within these agencies. And if they are, it would be really interesting to hear those conversations, because I can see how that would be a huge flaw in the system. Because that means all it takes is one caseworker being like, yeah, I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know. We've had problems with her the whole time. You're not going to they're just going to do whatever the person said. They're not going to go, they're not going to say, well, did you look for records? What records did you find? Did you did you turn the TADVS records over to the police, or did you at least, ask her if she'd like the TADVS records? I didn't even know what they were called, even though I've been asking and, making it an issue the whole time. So it doesn't, my caseworkers are super bad at their jobs. If in 10 years they couldn't ever communicate any of the information I needed to know that was helpful as of everything we're hearing right now. It's their job to communicate, but I knew that the whole time. And I did treat them that way, yes. I wasn't bowing down to them, no, but I wasn't rude. I'm going to be honest. I really wasn't that rude. People are going to be, for the most part, I'm kind of a nice person. You can kind of see how I am. This is just how I am. So, sorry I said a rude thing online about you, but you're stalking my page and trying to punish me for what I write on my page that I have a legal right to do.
I only proved I was right and you were wrong, and that's a crime. That's a crime. You committing a crime.
I was really trying to get records.
No, this is about Ashley, my friend that passed away.
It was all really confusing, and my caseworker wasn't
accident.
explaining any of it to me.
July 12th,
but they were sending people out to my house and wanting me to do
and
this
what happened to her, which is an
don't bother letting me know what the
set of
TADVS records
information.
need to go to the police.
So I knew
Don't bother
I
with giving
wanted
me the
to
records.
record
Like,
what these
I
people were
started with that,
doing
I
for the
want my
Department of
records
Human
thing since
Services
like
in my
2014
case.
or 2015. It was
But that
like,
didn't mean my phones worked. It took a
I had to go to
long
court.
time
These
to get
people are
there.
insane. Like, duh, I need my records. No fucking shit. Really? Really?
So you really got to ask yourself, if there's somebody who doesn't want you to have
I don't
your
know if I
personal
said it
records,
already or not,
you
but I remember
always
when
need
I
to be
wanted to
aware
say
that
the
that's
one thing,
probably
I was like, I
means
cannot
someone's
remember
committing a
what was I
crime
going to
against you,
say.
someone's trying to cover it up.
And it was about talking to the
When someone
people I
thinks that
talked
they're
to
right to
today.
commit a crime against you and cover it up
And they were nice, but
means
it's like,
them being protected, which is not the way
everybody does
the
have
law
something
works.
different to say, and everybody...
That is aiding and
It doesn't
abetting.
really make sense to me with the TAD, with having records. I'm not someone who doesn't have... I mean, those are things you can go in and you can look at very easily. So... How... Okay. So they each explain it the same way. Misty was saying, who's a caseworker in Eugene, you need to sign a paper, and so I had to give her my, records request reference number. I told her she needs me to sign something, she can just mail it to me, so it's not like he was totally cooperative and everything. But everybody, nobody's perfect. It doesn't matter, because if they don't really know what the hell's going on, which I'm just saying, it makes you wonder if anybody knows what the hell's really going on. Anybody knows what the hell they're fucking doing. But a place where you, like an agency where you were there for that many years, they know who you are. They knew who I was. It was like, anyways. So, I said some stuff to them, but other people may think, why would she want to post TADVS records? Well, first, my kids are 21 and 25. Other people why? I mean, you literally hear, whispers in the media, and of course this is about other stuff, but you can apply it to anything. It's like, why now? Well, why now? Okay, first of all, why not? Why now? How come now and not 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 7 years ago, or 3 years ago, or 1 year ago, right? Why do I have to go through all these people? But okay, so, and let's just say I get sent this piece of paper and I go look at my records and I have exactly the same thing, and it's like, oh, now I know what it looks like. Okay, so I didn't even know that was a TAD. You know what I mean? So my point in posting it is, for one, so my children do see it and know that their father has been. So the reason for posting this is, I want other girls to, first of all, know what a TADVS record is. To then know that your cops you need to go take it to them, and you're going to have to, really chew out your case, 15 caseworkers, apparently, before you get them, and I still haven't gotten them, so let's not, let's not pretend like we already got them when we don't. I don't really understand why she would need a technical guy instead, unless it's she said they crossed out phone numbers and addresses and stuff, but they don't for police records, and they don't for... So, there's no ad... They don't really... I don't really think that's not what I'm posting it about. But, anyway, okay, so it's so other victims can know what a TADVS looks like. That's why I want to post it public, so other victims know what the hell they're looking for in their own records if they get it themselves anyway. Or bad lawyers, you know what, you should probably do better at your job. This is what a TADVS record looks like. Or whatever, you know what I mean? So there is another question that's kind of weird, but I'm not as suspicious as maybe I should be, or I'm not, but... So I'm calling... First of all, I'm making the records request, never get it. Then I have to call records request several times and communicate. They don't make any effort to communicate with you. You just don't get your records request. And then they just don't care at all. They didn't respond. You know what I mean? So then I find out I have to talk to a caseworker. So then I'm calling Cottage Grove, and I talk to them. And why is this Ben Johnson guy? How come he's like, yeah, I see 2 records, don't see anything else, I have to call somebody else. So then I'm in a caseworker. Then I end up with a caseworker in Eugene. That's what I'm the one that called Governor's Advocacy Office, so I can see how they called me back, because I did call them and give them a specific reference number to the, it's like I gave them actual information. So they could call me back, wasn't, that time I didn't, I knew what I was doing a lot more than I did 10 years ago and even 5 years ago, that's for sure. I know how to deal with these people. When your children are being used against you, you're scared the whole time and everything's an attack and it's awful. Anyway, you're walking on eggshells. I walked on eggshells for 10 years and it was not just him. It was other people too. It was awful. It's been awful. I am a little angry about it. So why do I have to go through all these different people to have finally getting them? And then the one lady said she's going to do it, but then other people are like, yeah, we're going to do it. And they're like, it doesn't show in your system. I don't know, but I try to give as much information to be helpful, because I'm not like going out of my way to be a jerk or anything. That's never ever been my goal, ever. So, yeah. Also, if I become president, which is also very possible, because of the way things work, if it's possible for Donald Trump, and it's 100% possible for me.
I've never felt... I remember when he became president, that was one of my main thoughts. It's like, I guess I could become president. Never ever believed it before, but now I do. Donald Trump can do it, anybody can do it.
That be interesting.
But he won't be doing it again.
Maybe he won't be a president anymore. It'll just be his own money, and he'll just do it. It's just contribution. But anyways, how do you think, would he give me money, or would he do something different? What do you guys think he would do? I'm just kidding. Do you see how easy it is for anybody to play the game if you want to play that game? You should follow the rules. Like, my access to my internet seems to be completely manipulated, and like I'm being attacked and harassed, and so I'm getting all those records when I'm a president, right? What do you think I'm going to do when I'm the president? What do you think I would do with my power to help women like me from being attacked and having bad justices, SCOTUS seats stolen, having minority rule? In the United States of America, our justice system, top justice system is minority rule. These people have not been democratically voted in. This is not the most people who voted. This was opportunistic, people are impressed. Good luck with that.
Does anyone else think it's awkward that my Wi-Fi extender and also not one but two, both of my son's Wii chargers batteries quit taking a charge all last night? Anyone think that is possible? Anyone else think it's possible? Or shouldn't it be possible? So yeah, I even took my son's own
I'm
Wii
gonna
pen,
have my
and I
brother.
tested it myself over and over, and it would not take a charge. And guess what?
So when my brother's
Now it
installing a
is.
new one, I'm gonna
2
have
months
him look at
later,
the
all
old
of a
one to
sudden,
make
it's
sure
taking a
not
charge
broken.
again.
It
Is that
won't come back on.
awkward?
He's looked at it,
One of his pens is now working again.
And
We
then I'm
tested
also
both of
gonna
them.
try to plug
Tried
in
charging
my
them. I'm not
son's
joking you. That you know
devices
how
that, like, stop
you want
taking
that
a
crap to
charge
work
in
because
both
it
of
gets
them
annoying
at
trying
the
to
same
share.
time.
So why
So
would
maybe we
I?
could put them on my plug-in
Why
to
would I?
see,
Anyway.
So that's coming up later. I don't have time. Life is life. What I can talk about right now is phone numbers. Yes. So we have a home phone number, and our home phone number has been the same home phone number for like 10 years, for real. It's a number they've been using. It's not through like a regular phone company. It's through the internet. It's just like if my mom's going to pay for internet, she ain't paying for phone service. You know what I mean? So you don't need to. So if you got to do one or the other, they call. You know what I mean? So people are always going to obviously choose the internet, and so they got these phone companies that run through the internet because they all also pay for cell phones now. So there's no reason for most anyone to have a home phone that's not ran through your cell phone. And I was even having a conversation with my mom about how, actually, Mom, it seems to me that's really smart. If your program, now I don't know this about my mom, but if your program does document every number that comes through there and how long the call was,
About my
it
mom,
would be
my
even
mom's
better if it
program.
recorded it, but I don't know that it does.
The program she's
if you at least
using
had, like,
for
the
our phone
call,
service
the phone
is
was 2
ran
minutes
through the
long,
internet, and
you
it's
know what I
only
mean?
like,
Or this person called 20 times in a row,
$50
this
program, and then you use it for like 5
number.
years or something like
That
that.
would
I
still,
don't know
like,
what
Mom,
it is,
that's
but
actually better information for you to have, like, on your...
it actually turned out to be, to me, it's smarter if the
accessible
program.
information.
in a computer system. So in my
recording
opinion,
your calls
as those
as they come
programs
in.
probably get better and better
Dates,
and more
times,
developed,
length.
remember, those programs should be automatically doing that already. And if they're not, hey, I'm glad I gave you the idea. Now, can we get it done? Can you get it done? No, just kidding. I don't know how it works. But I said to my mom, that's a good idea. So that's one thing. But back to the home phone number being the same number we've had for 10 years, which my mom is probably giving out. It's not their personal cell phone number I'm giving out to these people in these recordings, just so people know or understand what's happening here. I already talked some about how, I would try to block out your number online, but then it turned out it didn't matter because anybody can get those reports, and legally you have the right to put that out there. The person would have to sue you for damages and prove those damages. You can't go into a court and say, I was damaged. They're going to say, how were you damaged? You have to prove it to an extent. So it's basically, you're going to do it where it's like literally impossible. What you can prove, though, is maybe defamation because somebody said something about, there's other things. Like if somebody told the police that this and this happened, but that's not what happened, that's defamation. So there's that. Because that's like, how are you making these decisions? See, I'm in a position where I may have to leave the country because of governmental abuse that is illegal, according to every law I've understood. So, we're at, anyway. So anyway, phone numbers. I got to thinking about, everybody used to give their phone number out because it was yellow pages because the internet didn't fucking exist, you retards. That's like a thing. But then I got to thinking about, okay, so if 1010 is like a home phone number, then that's like a business number, then businesses give their phone number out. They deserve respect too, right? Like, you can't just call up a business and leave 50 messages in a row. And, like, they would require some type of security at that point, right? If someone was doing stuff like that. So I'm like, it doesn't really matter if it's a public number. It should be treated like a business, even though it's our home phone number. It's not a business. I'm just saying, technically, there's no harm in this phone number that we've had for like 10 years. It really should be thought of more as a business phone number and not a personal phone number, because it's not. So I'm like, should I worry about giving the 1010 number? I'm going to ask my mom more about that, but I don't really know if I should have to care about blocking it out of the... And the P.O. box doesn't matter because it's a P.O. box. It would just be the like actual physical address, probably. Which also doesn't matter in police reports, it turns out. They need, like, a stalking order from the court or something, right? I literally just asked my mom to, like, give me... a reason...
This is when my ear got worse.
She's super.
Oh, that's what's pissed. Oh, my mom is
mental illness.
It is that. My mom is like, she has hatred for me. Well, it's religious schizophrenia because she doesn't seem to be schizophrenic about other issues. But her hatred for me is pretty intense.
It turns out.
And it's like a lifetime of, like, you don't just not, this is actual hatred. This is called, you can't be treating someone that way unless you hate them. And why do you hate me? It turns out there is a reason, and it's a lot of really, really, really awful speech being repeated over. Hate speech, hate speech, hate speech, hate speech. Years and years of I hate you, I hate you. Why can't you this? Why can't you? Why don't you just do my religion? Hate you, hate you. You're awful. You're a demon. You're this, you're that. Years of it.
And it turns out, I own this whole place.
Well, I paid for it.
It turns out the human trafficking ring
means I can sue.
Can you prove it, bitch? Ah, yes. Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can, bitch. Yes, I can.
Oh, that's hilarious. Which one was it? What was that one?
Okay, so as of right now, it's 9:02. July 16th on a Tuesday, which means it's the month of July and the year of 2024. If I'm right or not right, I don't know. It looks like I have a case of human trafficking and people who engage in human trafficking in ways that are about to disturb most people. My mom has mental illness. Now I have decided through applying law and reason that these people are mentally ill and disturbed and participating in human trafficking, and I do have evidence. So, Jackie, whoever Jackie is, who keeps pretending like she's someone who cares about my mom, you're a human trafficker who's been human trafficking.
I did her. Oh, by the way, there is more.
Go to jail. I think
but since
Jackie,
this could be public, I probably should keep it limited. So there was a
this person
my
is
mom
named
was going to go
whoever,
have.
I don't know. But my mom is in
have
a
a
cult.
hysterectomy. Literally rip everything out, and she had no. I was like, Mom, do you have cancer? Like, yeah. Well, she had a polyp.
My parents
Like 3 times or something like that. Like once every 3 years, she had to have a polyp removed a couple times. And he's like, yeah, I'm just going to remove my whole history, my whole.
Of human trafficking.
And I'm like, Mom, no, Mom, you need to stop. I need to wait. She was gonna. It was like they were gonna do surgery like a month later. Like, she decided, and like a month later, I'm like, Mom, no, you need to do research and think about this.
By the way, Uncle
and Jackie was telling her, no, you need to go do this. So my mom ended up having a heart issue and had to be tested. And she went through all that. That's how much she didn't bother to, like,
I'm
think
done
about
with
it.
this, and I'll do me, and you'll do you. Bye-bye.
So anyway, that's what that actually I got. So it turned out my mom ended up deciding not to have the surgery, so I'm glad I threw it towards her, and I'm glad I did, because my mom finally listened to me if that's what it takes to get through to someone like her. Like, even if, I still don't want my mom to, like, go have unnecessary surgery because of her condition. You know what I mean?
Your mom and dad, if it turns out your mom and dad are guilty of human trafficking, and they said to me, are you okay
Even
with
my
them
human
going
trafficking
to
parents,
jail?
I don't want them to be abused.
But like
and have like an unnecessary surgery because someone convinced them to go do that all of a sudden.
Sugar iced tea. That's how they used to speak. Anyways. Nancy, are you okay with actual facts coming out? I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't I be? Why do you talk to me that way? And I need to know who told you to talk to me that way. So what's happening next is...
Also,
not only am I okay
I'll be saying
with the truth
I've had a little bit of alcohol. I have a $5 limit, so
me trying to tell the
this
truth
is
for
about as
20
worse as it
plus
gets.
years.
I sound like super pissed, but still, I mean, that's as worse as it gets. But
so today is Tuesday, July 16th. It's 9:56 p.m.
My arm is giving out on me.
And I'm reporting like a human trafficking ring, which I have experienced personally through my mom's mental illness.
Oh no, it was Shane Hamilton that did it.
So my mom is so mentally ill. She wants her own family
so
members
much
out
to
of the
this.
house.
That's what I'm saying.
That
only happened because every single person, and when you know, most people don't, when they say that, it's like excessive, they don't mean it. No, it's all, they all helped him in one way. You are gonna.
She keeps locking us out even though we paid for the house.
These
so
records.
I think I'm proving what's happening through schizophrenic, evangelical schizophrenic cult members. I'm proving that I am being human trafficked, and I can prove it through.
Or it could be called servitude.
Or since my life,
I'm not sure.
I would prefer to go back.
It doesn't even mean everyone who helped commit the crime is guilty of the actual,
so disgusting,
crime. It could be like they aided and abetted, and they had a bias crime, and they had a harassment.
Which is actually what
but,
she says is
it doesn't mean I'm
natural.
not a victim of being human trafficked. It means everyone who aided and abetted isn't guilty of
natural. It's
actual
in her
human trafficking
genes. It's
charges.
in
That's what I'm trying to say.
history. That's natural. I want to teach you to be disgusting. Because she's disgusting. She wants to teach other people how to be schizophrenic in nature. Yeah, it's time for me to get a conservatorship over my parents. My mom is schizophrenic.
Yeah, she
And
almost
she's
yanked
been
out her
and
whole body
she's not
part.
just schizophrenic. She's mentally ill in a way
For no,
that
like out of nowhere.
I can
No
prove.
issues, and then decided not
So
to
let's get the
because
records.
someone,
Let's do
somebody
records,
was
baby.
wrong. Okay, here we go.
So this is how I'm proving. I might call the police tomorrow and like literally write a report. My mom is schizophrenic to the point, so she was pissed off at 5 because I dropped her. I didn't ask. I mean, she was pissed off at 5 o'clock because I took cans back and I took 10 extra minutes with her vehicle. She didn't need her vehicle. I took the cans back. This was a situation. This was
took
just
my
a
own cans
situation
back, got
where
$5
she's
and had alcohol, and she
controlling
thinks she
as
has the
fuck
right
and
to tell me what to
schizophrenic.
eat,
You know what
what
I'm
to
saying?
drink, when
This
to
is
do
not
it,
something
and she
wouldn't
doesn't
care
like
if
it when
was
she
right.
finds out
wouldn't
she
care if it was
doesn't, and that
anybody
it's
else that took
abusive to
10
treat
extra minutes.
anyone that
Do you see
way.
what I'm saying? It could be nothing. It could be 10 minutes. It could be nothing. So that woman was set hot mad at me because I bought it, I think just literally period, because I got $5 of alcohol, or I mean got $5 of cans back and bought alcohol. And she's like, oh, it's not sent. No, it's not sending. Anyway, I can still probably, if it doesn't, no, it might not play back. If it doesn't, okay. Anyways, so she then wakes up, she causes a huge scene, says I'm being rude to her just so she could wake everybody up and cause a huge, this is not about me actually doing something to her. This is about her. She saw that I was going to drink alcohol, so she was like,
I'm going to make a scene now. Today's the day to make a scene so that my husband knows that I have control over it. It's really weird the way my parents are treating me. It's so weird. The stuff they've done over the years, it is
I'm this and I'm
so
drunk and
weird.
I'm this and I'm...
It
But
is
it's actually her
hatred.
who causes a scene, who's... It could be PTSD because my dad used to be a drinker, so she automatically might just get PTSD, but she doesn't do it with my brother. No, wait a minute. Because my brother can drink, and my brother can be a
Christopher
school bus
could be a
driver and
drunk and
high as
asshole
fuck
for
in a way
years.
that he didn't even bathe, and he
Almost
had
died from
staff,
it, and then he did die.
rings of baseball-sized staff that he had to go to the hospital for, but that's okay.
That's hatred towards me.
These
Because
are the
it's
first
so
message
illogical. It doesn't matter how much evidence has been presented to
I tried
them.
hitting resend and it just didn't work. It's got a red. Wait a minute. That's a new red light. What is that? There's a red button here on the side that I've never noticed before. Maybe it's always been there. I don't know. Pretty sure that just is it like a stop button? So my mom's like, she hit me in the head. I didn't do anything to this woman but try. My mom literally did stuff to me last night that was beyond someone who, like, it's mentally ill. I'm telling you, I felt her weirdness at 5 o'clock in the evening.
This is because, so at this point, you guys, my mom had decided she was still going to have the hysterectomy.
Standing at the top of the stairs, staring down at me, and I was like,
that
all I did was take my cans back. And she's seen
all of this behavior now turns out to be I was right that my mom was like being schizophrenic about the hysterectomy. And now she's not going to have it. So all of this.
So see what I'm saying? So my brother can be drunk and do whatever the fuck he wants. It's only me. She has a weird, this is schizophrenia. This is a thing where she has developed, you know what I did? I put something in the microwave. This is last week. I put something in the microwave. Or no. I went to go put something in the microwave because it was done. You know, no one was using it, whatever, however you say that. And my mom's cup was in there already because, like, she just used it, but she hadn't taken it out yet. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know when I opened the door her cup was in there. So I go to grab her cup and just put it on the table for her so I can use the microwave. And she's like, don't touch that, don't touch that, don't touch that. I'm like, and I realize, like, she's like, I don't like people to touch my cups. And I'm like, no, you think I'm disgusting. Like, I might be sick or I didn't take, I could tell it was depraved. Do you know what I mean? Like, I knew in that moment that my mom has schizophrenic thoughts towards me or whatever they call that, where you're, like, mentally ill, because anybody else could have touched her cup. And she's like, no, you're disgusting. Don't touch my cup. I don't like when people touch my cup. Okay, but I get that you're a germaphobe. But you have to have extra, it's weird, you know what I mean? She has the ick for me. I feel her ickness for me. She doesn't like me, like it's schizophrenic in nature. How do I explain to people? Has anybody else ever had like a feeling where your parent, you know your mom hates you so much that she'll do anything. Like she has to wake up my brother. She's like, Nancy's this, Nancy's that. And then Rick went back to bed. I didn't do anything
You
to
don't.
this woman. I'm telling
So
you,
that's what I
she
mean. My
set
mom
up
is like mentally ill in the point where she thinks like Rick
because
is
she
my
saw me
pimp
at 5
or something.
o'clock. So by the time I'm
She
drunk
thinks
at 8
Rick has
o'clock and I
rights
walk
to
into the
like
house
do
to go
things to
pee,
me or tell me what. It's
she was
really
hot,
even
set,
the
mad.
dynamic in my
All I could
mom's
say to
brain and
her
her
is, "Oh, I
behavior
love you. Can I have like
is
maybe?"
mentally ill. Like it's depraved.
I literally am 100% sure now that it's a planned thing where my parents' behavior this whole time I'm a normal person and think I'm just going to my parents' house to like live here in the house that I paid off because I'm having a divorce and and my husband and my brother, and it was really bad in Roseburg. The behavior I had to deal with in Roseburg was so bad I had to leave the town. I'm not kidding. This is not a joke. So I realized in that moment with the cup, like, my mom has actual disgust. She's disgusted by me. I can feel her disgustness. Don't touch my cup. Don't touch my cup. You don't understand. In that moment, Hannah was in the room. It was just me. My dad was probably out working on the garden. Peter was probably outside with my dad. It was like a totally normal day, and I just went to grab the cup out of the microwave. Don't touch my cup. Don't touch my cup. She you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sick, right? I had my teeth thing, but I'm well. This has just happened. Okay, so this happened, like, within the last couple days. I said last week. No, this was, like, within the last couple days, is what I mean to say. I felt my mom's ickness towards me a couple days ago with the microwave, and I felt it at 5 o'clock in the evening when I pulled up with the car it's a controlling issue. It has to do 100% with, like, and I've said this to my mom. I said, no, Mom, it's controlling. When she talks to me about Isaac, sometimes I have to use these words with her. And she's like, no, but you don't understand. It's like, no, Mom, you're actually just mentally ill and think having family members that take care of you and being a part of your life because they're not in your cult, you think that's the devil's work. You think you're a victim because your family members that you gave birth to aren't in your cult with you. And you think that makes you a victim. That's how bad this is. I felt my mom's ickness towards me within the last couple days just because I went to use the microwave. I could feel it. Do you know what I mean? Don't touch my cup. Don't touch my cup. And then last night, it was the same thing. At 5 o'clock, she saw that I already bought alcohol, and I didn't, I guess, ask her permission, or it wasn't something I pre-planned with her. So she has a weird behavior, do you know what I mean? This isn't me, imagining things. I'm realizing that this is really true. I've never used the word cult, because I used to be a... my niece Hannah was drunk in my room, hiccuping, talking about, hiccuping, doing the whole thing, at my video, I just went and replayed all my videos, so I can hear everything. And I'm trying to, break down what happened, and I'm like, no, I'm 100% sure that my mom is, she's purposely going out of her way to say and do things that are fucked up. And it could be, if Hannah asked me for, Aunt give me Aunt Shannon's phone, I would just be because she's I would just be cute to her and be like, oh, you want to talk to your Aunt Shannon? That's cute. I wouldn't... My mom goes out of her way to turn it into a depraved situation. Do you see what I'm saying? Hannah can be drunk in my room.
It's like that.
So Hannah can drink and do nothing wrong.
It's she looks for any reason to cause harm to me.
I'm calling your dad. I can do that.
It's a condition where I can tell that she gets her rocks off.
So you see what I'm saying? Hannah can be drunk. Rick can be drunk. It's a mental illness situation where I'm doing nothing. And this woman will create a scene.
I can
this
feel
woman
an
will
aura about
cause
her.
a scene. I gotta call your brother. I gotta this. So if I wanted to do that to Hannah because Hannah had alcohol and Hannah was hiccuping and being cute and funny, you see what I'm saying? It's not a situation where I'm doing something. It's a situation where my mom is so mentally ill and she sees me as someone who she can't even be around. Because, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what I say to this woman. This woman will not have a normal conversation with me. This woman will not be normal with me. She has sickness towards me. I feel it around her. I can tell. I feel it around her. You don't understand. This is not made up. My mom literally has schizophrenic towards me. My mom thinks I'm the devil. She said that to me, you guys. This is not a joke. So I just looked at the car. My brother's still here, and it's 6 a.m. It's 6 a.m. Wednesday, July 17th, and my brother's car is still here. This makes me think my mom caused a scene. Now, I don't know, is my brother going to take a day off work now? Because he had to get up because of my mom. And my son was home by 10 and we all went to bed. See what I'm saying? I promise you, my mom planned this at 5 o'clock in the evening. You don't understand. I'm telling you, and I'm documenting it, because I ain't going to play this game with anybody. I already see it coming. I already see the writing on the wall, and I'm going to call the police, and I'm going to write a report. I'm going to call them and tell them my mom has schizophrenia so bad that nothing I can do is working. I need to, you know what it is? I need to have a call. We need a 911 call, like a 1-800 number for people, and for like, I'm living in a situation where there's nothing I can do is right. Nothing. Nothing. I'm never going to be okay. I'm never going to be the one It's always going to be whatever I have needs to go first. You need to give up all your resources to the family. Do you know what I mean? It's definitely a cult. It's definitely my mom causing the situation. My mom planned this at 5 o'clock, and now here we are at 6 o'clock a.m., and my brother hasn't left for work yet. Okay, so I'm going to document this because I'm trying to think through. I watched some of my videos, and I can see 8, 9 o'clock. Totally fine. So at 8 o'clock, I mean. At 9 o'clock, totally fine, but like pissed, still trying to figure out what the fuck just happened with my mom. So I see, okay. So Hannah came into her room, and Hannah was drunk. She was hiccuping drunk like I was in this video at like 8. So I'm not drunk at 5. I'm not drunk at, because I have to scroll back. Hang on. So I'm not drunk at 5. I was 6. It's 6 o'clock when I go get alcohol. And so it wasn't 5, it was 6. But 8:48, I'm drunk. 9:05, but like I'm not like. Remember, I only drink $5 of alcohol. I have a limit, and then I don't buy any more. So it's not like I can go get more. It's not like that. So Hannah's hiccuping drunk in here, and she's talking to me and Isaac. For an entire hour about Peanut and her drama and the boys she's talking to or whatever. I don't care. Are Isaac and I victims because Hannah was drunk and hiccuping drunk and talking about for an hour about something we didn't want to hear about? Are Isaac and I victims because Hannah needed to get drunk for a night and get stuff off her chest and have someone listen to her? So my mom, and this could be a PTSD issue because my dad was a drinker. Like, I don't mean he was a daily drunk drinker. And he didn't work. But they were on assistance, and people gave them houses and stuff. They were never and my family bought us, my grandma sent us clothes and money, and my mom would leave. She was always a victim. So do you see what I'm saying? When I was a kid, there's never a time. So my mom thinks this is possible. My mom sees alcohol and she sees me drink, but it's not because my brother can do it. So it's not. It is schizophrenic towards me. Because my brother can be drunk, be a dork, be everything, and they're not victims when my brother needs to get drunk and talk to them for an hour.
For
They're not.
years, right in front of her
They're
face,
not
almost kill him.
victims.
But
so
I
if I drink alcohol, my mom
and I don't even drink all.
that something
This was
bad's
only for
gonna
my
happen.
teeth
So do you
for
see
a
what I'm
couple
saying?
years, and I would
It's
go
in
30
her
days without
head.
having it. I realize
Nancy's
now
gonna
it was
do
about my
something, so
teeth.
she
That's
will
why it was
trigger me
only
and say something
sometimes.
rude on purpose because she knows I have alcohol.
So it just goes to
It's
show
worse
you the
than that,
depravity
though. I
of
have
the
to tell you about
behavior
cans.
towards me.
So my mom moves the we keep our cans in a plastic bag, like a trash bag, right in front of the dryer. And so the bag's starting to get full. So my mom moves the bag to the outside my bedroom door. The dryer's like right outside my bedroom door. So my mom moves those cans out a couple days ago to the outside. Does that make sense? Okay. So my pop cans it's a full bag a couple days ago, and we're still putting cans in it. So for the last couple days, I hear my mom tinkering with my bag of cans. And so I was like, why does my mom keep tinkering with this bag of cans? My door's been open because my internet's broken, so I can hear everything that goes on out here. And so my son has this stymie condition in which he everyone stymies. That's not, or stymieing, I don't know if I'm saying it right. Everyone does it, but some people do it more than others. And for some people, it's an indication that they're maybe upset or, Well, my mom stymies, I realized. But my mom kept messing with the cans. So I looked inside the bag, and I'm like, is there extra? Is she putting cans in the bag? She's not. So she's tying the cans. She's making noise with the cans. For days, I noticed my mom's making noise with these cans out here, right? That don't make sense. Like, I even went back and looked. So, and it's really windy. So I thought, is the wind? No, the wind can't move the whole bag and make the bag make sounds over and over. I'm literally thinking, is it wind? I go out and look, and it is really windy. So That's not a factor. So anyway, so I take the cans back because I realize my mom's stymieing, and I think to myself, maybe my mom keeps touching these cans because they're annoying her, because they're in her way, and she wants me to go return them. So I'm trying to read my mom's behavior. So then I go and I take the cans back after I take Hannah, and we go and we do whatever we need to do, and we get home, and my mom's watching me, like stare at the window, like, and she's like, "Where's my car? You took my," and she's like rudely saying that. And I think that's weird, but she does see the alcohol. So my mom, this is how bad.
Keep in mind, my fucking ear hurts. This whole time I'm in pain.
Situations. My mom, I think,
that's just
pushed on those cans, knowing I would pay attention
I
to
should
her
be in
stymie.
pain when I'm in
So
pain.
I returned the cans to get them out of her
really?
way, because I think
See,
that's why she's
depraved.
stymieing with the cans, like, because she wants them out of her way. She doesn't want to look. I don't know. I don't care. To me,
Actual
that was
hatred for
not a
another
weird.
being.
You just want the cans out of your way. Okay.
You want them to
No,
suffer.
she did that because she wanted to
'Cause
watch
you
it.
have
She was
hate
gonna. She
for the
knew
person.
when I got my $5 or $6 or $7 from my cans that I would buy alcohol. She knew that. So my mom. So I went to the house before all this happens. So I'm putting away the hamburger meat, and I know right in front of the dryer, and so the bag's starting to get full. So my mom moves the bag to the outside my bedroom door. The dryer's like right outside my bedroom door. So my mom moves those cans out a couple days ago to the outside. Does that make sense?
What has happened?
Okay. So my pop cans are, it's a
have no
full
idea
bag a couple days ago, and we're still putting cans in it. So for the last couple days, I hear my mom tinkering with my bag of cans, and I was like, why does my mom keep tinkering with this bag of cans? My door's been open because my internet's broken, so I can hear everything that goes on out here. And
How
so
is this
my son
happening
has
right
this
now?
stymie condition,
What?
in which he everyone stymies. That's not, or stymieing. I don't know if I'm saying
Which
it right.
one's
Everyone
playing?
does it, but some people do it more than others.
None of them are playing,
And
but
for
it's
some
like
people, it's an indication that they're maybe upset or, Well, my mom stymies, I realized. But my mom kept messing with the cans. So I looked inside the bag, and I'm like, is there extra? Is she putting cans in the bag? She's not. So she's tying the cans. She's making noise with the cans. For days, I noticed my mom's making noise with these cans out here, right? That don't make sense. Like, I even went back and looked. So, and it's really windy. So I thought, is the wind? No, the wind can't move the whole bag and make the bag make sounds over and over. I'm literally thinking, is it wind? I go out and look, and it is really windy. So that's not a factor. So anyway, so I take the cans back because I realize my mom's stymieing, and I think to myself, maybe my mom keeps touching these cans because they're annoying her, because they're in her way, and she wants me to go return them. So I'm trying to read my mom's behavior. So then I go and I take the cans back after I take Hannah, and we go and we do whatever we need to do, and we get home, and my mom's watching me, like stare at the window, like, and she's like, "Where's my car? You took my," and she's like rudely saying that. And I think that's weird, but she does see the alcohol. So my mom, this is how bad I think the schizophrenia is, and her ability to try to turn situations into situations. My mom, I think, pushed on those cans, knowing I would pay attention to her stymieing. So I returned the cans to get them out of her way, because I think that's why she's stymieing with the cans, because she wants them out of her way. She doesn't want to look. I don't know. I don't care. To me, that was not a weird. You just want the cans out of your way. Okay, no. She did that because she wanted to watch it. She knew when I got my $5 or $6 or $7 from my cans that I would buy alcohol. She knew that. So
why is it? There we go.
So what I'm going to say right now, where I want my son to document this, and what the schizophrenic thing is about. My mom, my son doesn't get home until 10:30 at night. The hiccup thing happens at 8. 10:30, I'm sober. I'm straight sober by then. So I have to go to the bathroom. My son witnesses my mom hold the door, says I can't go in to go to the fucking bathroom. So my son witnesses me walk through my mom trying to stop me. I don't hit my mom. I don't nothing like that. I just keep walking as she's trying to stop me, and I walk through her because she's not going to stop me from using the bathroom at 10:30 at night when I'm not doing anything. I'm just trying to use the bathroom. So she's a victim. She's going to call the police because I have to go to the bathroom because I went to the house where the only bathrooms at.
And I didn't, for no reason.
My son witnessed
and she
my
thinks
mom.
there's nothing wrong with her. That it's never her.
At that time.
It's never
Or at
her
least
doing
not,
something weird.
You know what I mean? It's in the recording. I'm not trying to cause a problem. My mom is such a
My son
victim.
witnesses it.
She needs to call the police because I'm bothering her so much. Do you see what I mean about it being human trafficking and defamation? And this, who is she communicating? Who's communicating to her that I must have a problem, or I must need to be controlled, or that's what I'm talking about. And I've asked my mom, so if my mom has a problem with me, she can talk to me about that. My mom doesn't ever tell me, no, Nancy, this post bothers you. Instead, she's like, we need to go have the police remove her rights. We need to, anytime you're in a situation where you're having your rights removed, you're not in a good situation. And so I was kind of a little bit weirded out by
by the woman I talked to on the phone, which you guys can all hear in the recording. I ended up deleting 2 other recordings that now I'm mad at that I deleted. I shouldn't have deleted those, but whatever. It was a snap decision I made, and it was a poor one. But not that there was anything like wrong with the lady's behavior. What I was going to prove was these 2 women called me within minutes apart. Well, I can document it now. That's good enough. And so I'm saying they keep saying they don't communicate with each other. Well, then how are they making these decisions? Number 1. Number 2, yes, they do. Yes, they do. So that opens up for the lawyer to say, but you do communicate with each other. You called each other you both called her within minutes. So you must have been communicating behind the scenes. So that opens me up for the lawyer
right
thing.
here I missed
and
some.
I documented it. And obviously they documented that they called. So I guess I don't really need the phone call. I can just prove that, no, you do talk. And it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it like it's a bad thing. Also, it comes down to what were you communicating with people? How are you collecting the information? And you're going to turn out all of this is going to be it's all going to be not up to code or what they're supposed to be doing. Trust me on that. So that's where the conservatorship of my mom comes in, because my mom's putting herself in a situation where she's trusting people who do not have her best interest. She's trusting people who only have the same interests she has. Not necessarily her best interests, just the same interests that she has, which are Jehovah's Witnesses. The only people they trust are Jehovah's Witnesses. Her family members, no, she needs help from them. She's a victim. They're old and she's a victim. No, you're old and you need people to take care of you.
My dad walked out, so I stopped talking and recording out of respect for not wanting to cause him stress about what I'm having to document. And
okay, so it's been 3 weeks and like a day, and I want to document this. I was only able to put my denture piece, it's called a partial, in my mouth just yesterday, and I can put it in, but it wasn't like comfortable, and it had nothing to even do with, it's an upper, not a lower. So if it was a lower, I don't think I'd be able to. Only because it's an upper can I put it in, because the sensitivity from the lower tooth is that bad to everything. You don't understand the pain. So I'm starting to realize some things that are really interesting. What was I going to say? Yes, it has to do with how, and why, okay. This is so weird. Okay. So I'm kind of thinking about Andrew Johnson, that lawyer, and that I left a thing, but I didn't really, I've kind of explained all that. But,
I called to ask questions, like a lawyer question, just like a regular question. And I called from the 1010 phone number, which is the same phone number I called from before when I had to make the complaint about their office. And that woman, it was almost like that woman knew who I was. She immediately was rude to me. And it was like, almost like it was, we can't answer questions. It was like, it's so weird.
So I was just able to, took 3 weeks to get I'm literally listening to the sound outside and trying to figure out what the heck. My dad was mowing, but this doesn't sound like mowing. That's why I'm like, it doesn't even sound like it sounds like the neighbors more like. So I don't know what that other sound is. Anyway, so anyway, about my teeth. Typically people make decisions, well, not typically, always. People may have to make decisions based on how many teeth they have left, whatever, And if you don't know, for people that have a bias against people that are missing teeth, if you're poor and you have organ health plan, they pull your teeth no matter what. If it's certain teeth, they do not give you a crown, or they will, but I've never gotten one. No one's ever come through and done it for me. And, but I mean, dentists are like, it's getting super hard in this area. So to have a dentist and be able to keep dentists, they're all needing to retire or something. They're getting old and we don't have any new ones. So the two teeth, it's like, I've been trying to debate whether, like, should I just get a full denture for the upper, or should I get, because there's two teeth left that could make a bridge for the front teeth, and then I could just have a partial for the back teeth, and use that for eating, the back teeth. So I'm trying to decide, but the thing is, I'm afraid if I go through all that money and spend all that money, I think I'm going to break it. The way my teeth are and the way I've watched myself go through this, trying to eat, I think I'm going to break them off anyways. So I feel like, and then I'm going to have to go get the denture and the metal, get it anyway, and then even then, the dentists and the people I've talked to suggested getting metal, because I broke my partial 3 times, so they're like, no, and you need a metal one. So I'm kind of thinking about going with just pulling all of them, and going with a full piece, and that's just, I didn't want to do that, but because it changes your actual structure of your face, when you're not wearing your teeth. And so even though I have a few teeth, at least holds holds it up more than you think, probably, more than I think, probably. So I don't know, I'm going back and forth, so I'd like to spend the money on it, but in the end, I think I'm going to break it off anyway, so it's like, well, I don't know. I think we're getting to the point where we're just going to have to pull out and do a full upper. And I think they even will pay. They won't pay for a metal one. I don't, OHP, but I can at least get. Because imagine, I want you to think about this from my perspective, because, whoever does that. But just even from my own perspective, like, say I'm dating and I have a husband, or I'm on, vacation, or I want to go on vacation, have a life, everything's going to be ruined by having the next toothache. Do you know what I mean? Always. Or I broke my tooth, so it's like having a couple pieces of dentures and not having to go through. I've had the infections that have. I'm not going to go to. Well, no, I am going to go into more detail about how much pain it's been and how much of a struggle, and where people aren't realizing what's really going on. And these infections are so bad, I guess they can almost kill you. So, when mine spread from the top of my ear to the bottom of my throat, only on the right side, and it still hurts. This is not done yet. We've got the tooth out. We're 3 weeks down the road, and I'm swollen. My top of my ear to the bottom of my throat is still swollen. It's just not. It's not like red flaming hot, but yeah. See, now my dad's done mowing, and I still hear something in the background. So there was 2 noises. Okay. So a partial, so just going through this seems like logical no matter what, because am I going to be, then it's the next infection, am I going to have every vacation ruined before a tooth infection again? Anyway, okay. So this is what I'm going to do. Number 1, I'm going to go make a doctor's appointment with my doctor, and first of all, I was already supposed to make a doctor's appointment. I've kind of been on an emergency situation with my infection from the top of my ear to the bottom of my throat on the right side. I'm documenting this to prove, maybe people really don't know and really believe us that a tooth infection can be an entire 8-week process, or no, I'm sorry, it could be an entire, because I had to wait first I had to have the thing, then I had prescriptions over, and I had to go through 2 rounds of prescriptions. There was technically 4 prescriptions altogether in the end.
3 rounds in the end. So
that's a whole maybe 2-month rigmarole, and then I had to wait for the appointment, and then I had to heal. It might be a whole 4-month. People might not really believe me or understand this, that those infections are so painful, and it actually turns out to be a 4-month process each time you have this, if you know what you're doing. And I know what I'm doing by now. That's if you're poor, of course. On OHP. But I am, and that's my situation. And so trust me, I got on it, and I know what I'm doing now, and it's still a 4-month process. Normally now that I know if I have to do a second round of, here's the problem. If I have to do a second round of antibiotics, I won't numb. You have to get the infection gone. So it's kind of yeah, so I don't really know that I could have done anything different or faster, or I'm not really sure that I could have. So, and like I said, it's not like it bugged me for, years where, the tooth was white. It wasn't one of the ones that has a cavity on it that I could see, It had to be inside, or because the outside of the tooth had nothing that needed fixed. But it was so painful. I can't even explain to you the pain. But anyway, so that's why I documented that.
Oh, so I need to make a doctor appointment anyway because I have my prescription thing I need to fix. And now that I know what they should have got my paperwork by now. And so, and I'm going to have them test my blood and test me for alcohol and for weed.
It's really only going to...
I'm going to have them test my levels and then have a conversation with me about what the results are. And if,
but I'm doing
considering
tests
I'm
to
going
see
to tell
who's
everything about my
listening to my...
situation,
Like
what
if
it's
there's
been going
people
through,
breaking into my account and doctors and things
I'm going to have them,
taking advantage of
like they can test my blood sugar and I'm 6, I went from 6.1 and they thought it was a big deal. And so
I was testing it, right? And then it was, I'm not going to talk about it right now, but I did discover something through doing this.
So I did it, and now I have to go, they have to take me to the store.
I did bust somebody.
I need to go to Walmart. No one's taking me, my car's broke down, and I tell them, just like I could have almost died, because nothing I need matters to these people. It's that bad, Rick. So my mom creates a situation where she has to go get my brother, my brother was sleeping. She should have never got my brother. It was a situation where mom kept pressing me. She kept locking the door, and I had to go pee, and she would turn it into a situation. I can't even talk to her. This is what I realized about my mom. She's schizophrenic to the point where I didn't realize until I started paying attention. It's just like with the drinking alcohol. I'll explain this. When I start paying attention to my mom's behavior, this is actual schizophrenic, okay? And I don't mean, religious schizophrenic, but it's me. It is, she has a disgust. You don't do a thing where you don't want to touch the person's. And I've seen the way they talk to Hannah was through Hannah's, relationship problems and through needing housing and the kids. It's been making us feel bad for being in situations, and I'm the one who helped them. So I'm not... If I need to talk to you for a night, you're supposed to be a mom. So this is what I'm going to be telling the judge and all the people in the courtroom and everything on all these lawsuits. And I've been well documenting, which I now realize matters so much that I've been documenting the last couple of years. And I documented the whole Raymond Brown thing and being stalked. And so their answer is harass their own daughter. I'm not kidding you. They wanted people. They are going around because they're
for whatever reason,
it's a
it makes
mentality.
I think that is how he came to religious schizophrenia, because I can see that it pleases her. She gets something out of when she sees that someone has caused harm to me and has made an issue. It's like, because she thinks, I know this sounds like a horrible thing to say, but if you're a victim of it and you need to talk about it, and someone tells you you're not allowed to talk about it, watch me do it. Watch me talk about it publicly in front of everybody. Watch me do it.
Do you see what I'm saying? My mom is the one who's creating a situation because she's so schizophrenic and mentally ill towards. My brother can go in there and be...
I think it was this one.
So, to reiterate, I kept thinking caseworkers go get records and that's all they do. Especially like school records, or because I kept thinking. Now remember, I'm going to remind you of Amanda, who's Ashley's cousin, whose father of her children went to jail because they had a business where they were falsifying documents to give people housing. They were like, just fake that you have income and we'll get you this house. And so he ended up going to jail for it finally, okay, which I have nothing to do with, or I don't have anything to do with their company, or I just know about it because we talked about it. I can't even prove that that's true. I'm just saying that's what I was told. I don't know. Someone did seem to go to, there was issues. So can I prove that's what really happened? No, but is that what I was told? And was there information that's for years that lasted about that? It's probably true, is what I'm saying. But, so based on knowing stuff like that, as caseworkers, and like there's police, right? I'm thinking there's no way a caseworker just would let Shane go. Like, if I just bring in a document for them from the school, like this is her, I just assumed they would know it could be fake. Wouldn't they have to go look themselves? Because what if Shane brought it? Shane would 100%. He faked his, what do you call that? He just lies and says he has his GED and he never ever got it. They just they'll fake a document. His people tell him, employers will tell you to fake a document so they can hire you. I mean, it's not like a big deal. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, does he have a tendency to lie? Has he been lying? So yeah, it's why I couldn't stay married to him, because I couldn't. It's trust issues. So I thought caseworkers got documents. They don't. So if I even turned everything in, I assumed, would it matter? Wouldn't they already know all that? It kept confusing the shit out of me. Now, I don't know this, but it looks like the lawsuit will be because I was exempt, and they never, gave me my exemption, like I'm saying, and which caused putting me in an unsafe situation, putting my child in an unsafe situation, and this lasting for 10 years. Well, can you prove that you were harmed? Yeah, because he kept lying to them, and I kept, what's my relationship was damaged, so I think it's going to be a bigger lawsuit than even I thought. Like, in the beginning, I think it's pretty significant. So I think my brother's now realizing his behavior was so bad that him and my mom were in cahoots, but they've always been in cahoots this whole time. My whole life, I mean. That's not a new situation. I've been in...
Triangulation.
My parents have been abusive towards me my whole life.
Through watching
Dr.
Romney, I found out
abuse.
that...
That's true. So you have to remember I factored that in.
That's actually...
There's
a term for that. It's called triangulation. It's abuse.
It's not like there's a whole bunch of other choices. Now I'm just going to go get the lawyer. I'm going to get out of here. I'm not going to stay here and deal with this shit. I'm going to be dating. Whatever it's going to be, there's going to be a change. For sure, coming up. I mean, it might take 2 years. There's nothing I can do, but I'm getting out of here. I can't. Me and my son need peace. We're never going to have peace as long as my mother's in my...
But I actually don't recommend, and I'm going to stay right here, and I'm going to take exactly what I want. I'm going to do whatever I want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop letting these...
We're not allowed to be.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to press charges. I'm going to sue you if you're upset not even one more time.
Me having rights
and I'm
going to
sue you mean.
I'm
going to sue you mean way.
She has to control me. I'm a bad person. But it's to the point where
I'm not a nice person is what they tell me when it comes to suing.
It's hatred towards women. It's actual disgust. I see it with her behavior by how she treats me. It's ongoing. It's my whole life. So it's not, I don't want to, okay, now this is the truth that they're in a cult and this is her behavior. But just remember, there are people in my family that are in the same religion who I still think is a cult, who aren't really awful to their children. So keep in mind, I keep trying to say that, and I'm reminding you all. People can be good people all the way around. People can be bad people all the way around. Is it a cult? In my opinion, yes, because of a lifetime history of this being a problem. And her being too worried about her relationship with people who have the same interests as her to care even about her own family. That's a disconnect that's not natural. So once you're doing things that are natural, why is it happening? And it can be because you're being encouraged to do that, and that's true. But it also can be because you have, like, narcissistic tendencies or autism or... You know what I mean? It's not like I do see autism, but to the point of putting me in unsafe situations. So I think it does turn out to be a human trafficking case. And I did just put the records. I put the files on top of my desk, and so I've been moving things around for the last 2 days. And my mom did come into my room because she liked that wine book. So she saw that I have moved my records, my file boxes and everything. I've moved my filing, what do you call it? Documents. My records, excuse me. I have these huge binders of records, and so I've moved them. And now I think my mom might be realizing that what this is going to turn out to be is they're in bigger trouble. Like, something's wrong. Something is wrong here. I don't know what it is. But I think, I don't know, I'm documenting it because it seems like now that my mom all of a sudden had to have that. I'm telling you, that's what I was supposed to document. I do drink, so I've been drinking. You will find, like it was, am I an alcoholic? I'm going to have them test my blood. I'm telling you. But, have I been drinking this whole entire time? Yes. You'll find maybe 4 bottles a month of that $5 a bottle of alcohol. Yes. So, is it because when I drink I piss my mom off? No. Because then how come every other night that I drank alcohol I didn't piss her off? You know what I mean?
This was my mom was coming up to me and saying
she's
things
been
like,
egging it on and trying to create the situation.
They say things that are hateful.
Like, I hit her, I this, I
it's
that.
in a recording. The recording's on YouTube, and it probably happened around this time. It's my guess.
Guys, can I see your wound, ma'am? Can I see your bruises? Can I see your?
And
you're going to see it's never her.
If I stop now and play this video, which I could do, I should let people see.
But that's always my fault. Remember, this is all victim blaming.
This is all
harassment on a level
over the
so
top
long that
hate speech. Hatred towards me, because there's no reason for it. There's no thankful, never thankful.
I realize how important it is that I've been documenting this. Anyway. Oh, by the way, see, I told you, now she doesn't want me to, now I'm not allowed to drive Isaac to work. And my mom was going to drive him to work, but Isaac doesn't want to be around my mom, literally doesn't want to be around my mom, so he said he was going to walk in the heat to work instead. But it's not that I said, Isaac, I was going to go fight him on that, fight her on that, and say, no, I'm driving you over the out, because that's like risking your life. You're not going to do that. So she thinks by not letting me use the car and driving to work that means I won't have access to alcohol anymore. See what I mean? It's controlling. It has nothing to do with the fact that I drink alcohol. It's you
Plus,
bothered me
you have to
one night,
remember,
and I found
I'm
a
talking about
situation to
someone
turn
that's
this
so
into a way to make
schizophrenic
this a
that
thing
she was
about
married
me,
to a
and I
man
gotta
that drank
lock you out,
alcohol
I gotta
every day. She watched
She
her
was
grandson
planning to do this so
drink
she could wake up
more
quick
alcohol
so
than
they could
probably
do this.
anyone on
I'm
this planet.
telling you.
And still live, I don't know how, for like
getting to a
years,
point where it's
and didn't do
getting-
anything.
This is creepy.
That's
anyway,
what
so
I
she
mean
doesn't
about her
want me
being
to use the car
hatred
now.
for me.
Now all
That's
of a
why
sudden I
her
can't use the car, so
decisions
I
that
need to
she's
have
been
all rights
making for
taken away.
years, and other
She
people
has
are
to have a
making
situation.
decisions
No,
based off this
the answer
hatred.
must be that Nancy now should never be allowed to drive Isaac to
So
work.
it's not normal to
Do you
accuse
see how
someone.
schizophrenic this is?
Like if a man
This
works
is
full
mental
time and
illness.
comes home
Somebody
every
needs to sit
weekend
her
and
down
has a
and say,
beer,
Bonnie,
nobody thinks anything of
it
it.
is looking
Nobody.
like you have
This
a
is hate
problem,
speech.
and you
This is
maybe need
hatred.
counseling for this problem.
And the
Because it
reason
looks
why
like
they
you're
repeat
blaming
the
your daughter
hate
for being a
is because
victim
they
for,
want
like,
you to hate someone
her
with them,
entire
because
life,
they want
Bonnie.
to be in a
And you're
group
getting
of
in the
people
way
that
of her
hate the same
successfully being
people all together.
successful.
Because it's mental
And you're
illness.
starting rumors about her and lies, and it's defamation, Bonnie. So anyway, I'm going to go make that doctor's appointment so I can... I have to say these things, one, for documentation and, like for a lawsuit, but also, personally, it helps me when I say it out loud. It's like, oh yeah. So, for the next couple months, this is what I need to focus on. So part of this, it has been partly hard for me to accept that I have to go full denture, first of all. It's taken me years to get there, to where it's like, you know what, the dentist was right the whole time. Anyways, and it's not because I'm on drugs or drink alcohol. It's not. Once it starts,
Which is what, people are going to say to you, to every single person. My own brother, my own spoiled brother, who's the only person I personally know in our family who did have an issue with some alcohol and some weed, goes around telling other people that everybody else got a problem when they don't.
But
it's hatred. You hate to.
Need to focus on so remember, I'm a poor person, so this is specifically
and it does help people
stamps.
to help spread the knowledge, like, hey, I'm in a situation where I'm like, the people, you're basing your decision off people of actual hatred for their own family member based on nothing
I don't know how to eat. It's
but a
really,
schizophrenic thought
people
pattern.
probably really don't know.
And that's provable through
trying to
records.
eat with 3 teeth and 2 of them being bad or something. You have
Because you can't possibly have that much feeling towards someone when the records prove that you have other family members that did exactly what you're mad at this person for 10 times more than this person did, so why do you hate this person?
So it'll be about, or even just maybe deciding, maybe I like my food. I don't know. I might literally have to look into this, okay? So, Nancy, over the next couple months, you're going to focus on finding
I have to find soft food. I still do. I still have to work on
Now
that.
you're going to have a denture. Next couple of months.
Oh, I gotta find things to
You
eat.
like, and you can buy with food stamps at the store that are soft and are good, that I can eat and chew without having upper teeth. I break my denture, so I need to find soft foods that I can eat always. That's not candy, okay? Even though I like candy, it can't be candy.
All the time. Candy all the time.
So I'm going to explain a few more things. I don't know if this is documentation. I don't know if I'm explaining this to someone who doesn't understand. I don't know if I'm talking it out. How do they say that? Talking it out loud? Talking it for myself? You know what I mean? So I'm like in my head right now. I'm like going through what am I going to, ask a lawyer at a, and so back to the Andrew Johnson thing, I was like, should I, now, because it's like, my sister thinks even we need to go get a lawyer in Eugene. So, but I kind of feel like this guy, for some reason, like, you maybe need to know. I don't know if you know. Are you this bad of a lawyer, or did you not know all this stuff? Right? So, there's that part of it. But I need to ask questions anyway. So I feel like if I'm going to go to a consultation and I have questions no matter what, and I have to pay $150 for 30 minutes or whatever it is, I should just, you know what I mean? Like, it would be fine with me. It might kill 2 birds with 1 stone is more of how I'm putting it, to question him. Maybe he's not going to be the lawyer for my case, none of that kind of stuff. Just I'm really asking questions. And then I start thinking about, then like the Social Security lawyer said it would be free, but that's for Social Security, who I called this morning, Bell's office in Roseburg. I talked to the woman and she said, no, they don't, like even if if it's a Social Security case and he sees that I have a lawsuit against, like that looks really valid against maybe the police or Department of Human Services or whatever, it's still not him. I would need to go get a different lawyer for that case. So that's what I was trying to figure out, which is what I kind of thought, but I was confused. So I'm really happy to have that question answered. And so I'm going to call around to other places and find out, like, do I need an attorney? Do I need a civil, there's a couple different choices left on the on the board here. So I just Googled the Kathy Cross phone number and I got a different lady's name. So when we use the 1010 phone number, it goes, or whenever you call Kathy Cross's phone number, it goes to her. Maybe she has an assistant now or something. I don't know. But my point is saying this, I don't remember what the name was, because she was just saying Kathy Cross because she's. Maybe that was a good idea. Maybe it needs to. Maybe people have PTSD from dealing with Kathy for years, or not me. I'm getting over it. Trust me. But I'm just saying. Trust me, it's an issue. So, having a message box that has a different name is actually a good idea for probably multiple reasons. But that's so. Anyway, I don't remember the name, but and I didn't record it. So I just left. But I just want to document that I did it though, because it's not. This is just a question. It's not a big deal. So whoever's message box that was, I said, hello, my name is Nancy Hamilton, my phone number is 541-223, and I'm calling just to ask a question. This is not me making a report. I was just wondering if an officer would answer, yes, we deal with TADVS records all the time, or no, I have no idea what they are. TADVS records are records from Department of Human Services that I got in Roseburg here, and I didn't know what they were, but so if you could please, it's just a question, let me know. Yes, we deal with these all the time, or no, I have no idea. An officer wouldn't know what you're talking about. Please call me back if I for one, that's all I said and I hung up. So just want to verify that that's what I did, because people say all kinds of things. I think all kinds of things. Everything's about them. Everything's about someone who's attacking you. Just going to keep attacking you, and they're always going to find a reason because they're just that kind of people. So, yes, I did do that. So I can't remember if I already said this or not, but I think I did. But whatever. But so I made a doctor's appointment. My dad has to take me, my mom said, in the van at 11:20 tomorrow in Drain. So
it is so hard for me to have to listen to all, because I'm remembering how much abuse, like, my mom has no reason to treat me this way, and now it's like, now I know it was all about her wanting to have a hysterectomy because she was, it's a clear indication that my mom was going through mental illness and taking it out on me, and then saying, no, it's not that Bonnie Hunt's going through mental illness and taking it out on her daughter, it's blaming her daughter, it must be Nancy's fault, right? It's just, I'm remembering how horrible the treatment has been.
Specifically, I'm getting those inhalers
how hateful,
time in the month.
Hate-filled.
Now, once a month anyway, prescriptions, and I don't like that. I need them every 3 months.
If someone can have that much hate for me, who's been
I
so...
miss like a week trying
I'm the good kid. I'm the good one.
It causes a problem, and I need those inhalers.
You wouldn't know it, would you?
Specifically. That's
check the records. You might want to check the records.
My prescriptions that I can, because it's just a thing I need, and I'm going to, again, explain to my doctor, like, I'm in a situation, this isn't a report, just I'm telling you personally why maybe I don't heal like I used to, because of the situation I'm in, I also need to let her know that my ear's still whooshing, so I don't know if that means I need more antibiotics again, which is possible, but maybe not, maybe we just need more time.
I ended up having to get more antibiotics. I remember.
I'm going to talk to her specifically about, like, again, the situation, and so that doesn't even mean I'm going to do it tomorrow because I'm freaking tired, but I just at least need to get up off my ass and go do this, but, Like how I wanted to explain to you how a blood and alcohol drug test, like how it works in the sense that, because it might not even be worth it, because it might not do what I need it to do. You know what I mean? Or whatever she can get order OHP to pay for. Everything matters on that level. So you have to think of that too. But like, does it would a blood test tell me? Like if I drank alcohol yesterday, which I did, is it going to say you drank alcohol yesterday? Yeah, I'll tell you I drank alcohol yesterday. I don't care about that. That's not my point. Or is the test going to say? Can it tell in the blood that, you know, over a course of a year, So I'm going to tell my doctor the reason why. Like, I don't want to be treated like a criminal because I asked, you know, or like I have a drug problem because I even asked to have, like, I'm going to say, doctor, because I'm an OHP person, is it going to be possible that these are used against me if, you know, because then I don't want to do it, but I also, because, hey, let me explain. I kind of almost want to be drugged. Like, I'm a tell her I use marijuana, and is there a way you could test? I mean, it's the same thing, the same question as it is with the alcohol. Will it tell me, yes, you use marijuana? Well, cool, I'll tell you that. We don't need to test me for that, you know? Or does it have a way of reading, like you use, you know, basically my point is my blood
Will it show
alcohol level
light
or my
use?
blood weed level?
Will it
like,
only show use,
it's
or
come back,
will it
we don't know,
actually
like
show
50% of
light
our
use,
customers
medium use,
have,
heavy
or
use?
custom
Because I
clients,
only
whatever.
want it if it's going to show use. I don't.
50% of our people have this
Like,
much. This
if
is
it's light,
normal. This is
medium,
normal.
heavy,
This is in the
that's what
range
I
that
was
we would
saying.
call
So that I
normal
could
use.
use it
This
as
is in the range of what we
evidence
would
for
call
people who
you're
make
risking your life.
accusations that
This is
are
in the,
false.
do you know what I'm saying? So, and it doesn't even matter that I care, like with the alcohol, because everybody has an opinion. I'm not saying it on that level. I just want to know what the doctors. I'm never going to not be somebody who doesn't. Again, did I already say that? Not drink like wine and whatever. Drink. I'm always going to have like a couple glasses of wine on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. Okay, that's going to be me
Not really.
for the rest of
But
my
I want.
life. If
I
you
want to
don't
believe
like
that'll
it,
be me.
I'm not for you.
Just
Okay.
not.
So, but that's legal and it's my right, and
Right.
nobody
I'm
cares when a
saying
man
it
does
literally,
it.
even
So
though
enough said on that.
I go
But,
years without
okay, so
whatever.
pills.
But
To the doctor, make sure I'm getting prescribed for that. My ears whooshing. And then how does an alcohol blood test work? What else? Is there anything else? And things can come up later, but these are like kind of like things that need to get done right now. And really importantly, though, I do need to have my ear looked at because what if I do need antibiotics again? I don't know. Did I say enough? Did I get it all? Is there anything else with the doctor specifically? So, I'm really like, I'm so tired. Like, I think what it is I also haven't slept well. I think I'm really fucking tired. Like, I was gonna take a nap earlier. I was gonna keep taking a nap. It never ever works out. Which is fine, but that's life. I sleep now better than I did ever for like a long time. So, keep saying that to people. But, oh, my mom. So, I was going to leave this, like, maybe make this my last recording because I don't want my mom, I might even erase it, but, so I want to remember what I was supposed to take to the doctor tomorrow, or everything I wanted to talk to her, so I want to replay it and, you know, refresh, not be hard to find, but, so now that the kids are here, the good news is now that the kids are here, and while the kids are here, that's like kind of a good thing, whether people think it is or not. If you understood my mom's narcissistic behavior and how she is, and there's certain things she cannot get away with, so it changes her behavior in certain ways, that is really helpful and useful for me. Like, things are typically better with my mom, but then she'll, like, the minute they're gone, like, if she'd been, like, she'll blow up, she's gonna still start blowing up stuff. and it's everybody's fault, never her own. Always somebody else. It's always going to be, well, it'll always be my fault, but, so, the kids are here, so it'll make Isaac a little more, maybe tired or whatever, which is too bad. That's like, we all, that's not the way this works. And it's just as much my baby and my kid as Isaac is, and like this house, just as much as I let Asia or Isaac, Hannah, Hannah needs to be here too. That's my child. So Rick got his own trailer and got out, so I think that's what it should be. So since Rick is picky and he has needs or whatever, high needs, special needs, whatever. So do you understand what I'm saying? I can hear my mom in there. I'm in my room, but I can hear my mom in there right now. My mom doesn't understand. I can hear a lot of stuff they say, especially when the witnesses are here. It flows into my room, and I just... Could I record it? Could I do the whole thing? Yes, it's so... You guys, it's stupid. They've been saying the same... It's always... They're always a victim, and it's always everybody else's fault. There's no... I don't even care. I put my music on. I don't even care. Yes, I could, and yes, I can hear it, and I hear it all the time. Does it irk me? Yes. I'm so past carrying. You know what I mean? The situation's been this way for that long. Anyway, I can't, my brain, yeah. Glad I got on top of making a doctor appointment and was persistent and then went, and so I got prescribed antibiotics, steroids,
I can hear how tired my voice has been this whole time. I can hear it in my voice. I'm like in pain.
And I got my
tired.
prescriptions fixed where I got them all turned in, and I got them set up to like 90 days, because for me personally it affects my life, and I have that convenience of what happens is you go out of, it's like you have to wait for it to be ready to refill, which means, and then they have to ship it. So it's like I end up with a week missing it when it's sent to me every month, and I'm like an extra week. So it's like it doesn't help me, it doesn't keep me ahead, it gets me behind. So it just keeps me up to date. With my inhalers most, it makes a huge difference. There's kind of nothing else that makes a huge difference. It's just convenient for me, which is still nice, but...
Why is it doing that? I don't understand. Did the volume? No? I don't know.
glad I got on top of making a doctor appointment and was persistent and then went. And so I got prescribed antibiotics, some steroids, and a new, better allergy pill. So, and I got my prescriptions fixed where I got them all turned in and I got them set up to like 90 days because for me, personally, it affects my life and I have that convenience of the convenience of what happens is you go out of, it's like you have to wait for it to be ready to refill, which means, and then they have to ship it. So it's like I end up with a week missing in what it's sent to me every month, and I'm like an extra week. So it's like it doesn't help me, it doesn't keep me ahead, it gets me behind. So it just keeps me up to date. With my inhalers most, it makes a huge difference. There's kind of nothing else that makes a huge difference. It's just convenient for me, which is still nice, but...
Oh, it did it again. Okay, well, I don't know what that's about. Other than that happened. So then, oh my god, Isaac just called the sheriff on my dad, his grandpa, just now because my dad threatened to hit him with a metal baseball bat. So that happened, by the way. So you can see leading up to this, my mom, it's all been like crazy at this point. And it turns out a lot of it has to do, so then the sheriff left. You can see they were called here, and left by 20 minutes later. That's pretty crazy. So there must have been a sheriff in town because I don't see how that's possible.
Okay, so I filled out a records request about what happened on July 17th. Or was it yesterday? Was it yesterday? Oh my god, it was the 18th, not the 17th. Okay. I brain farted that this morning. That's okay. I'll have to maybe redo it for the 18th. That's okay. I can redo it. I can get another stamp. Or I can just call them, They want to be that technical. They're probably going to look ridiculous. But, so I'm thinking, so this is a case where Isaac has laundry and he's really specific. He buys like, what? What's that brand called? Vivian Westwood. Like expensive stuff, and his clothes is very particular to him, but he's particular about all his things. This isn't like a maybe, this isn't like a I don't know who. So my mom, which I've been documenting, has been on a roll, and I can tell my mom is working the scenes in the background. So my mom keeps saying, if you stress your dad out, the only person stressing my dad out is my mom, who goes to him about every emotion she has and wants my dad to cause physical harm to anybody who upsets her and her family members. Any of her family members upset her, she expects her husband to get a bat and hit him. You want an apology from me, you're going to get hit with the bat. So it was, and she said, you're going to lose your housing, we're calling the police. I think they're the ones that said it, and when Isaac was talking, so Isaac was like, I almost promise you that's how this happened. So I promise you, Isaac was like, you know what, you want to call the cops? I'll call the cops, because they keep saying that to us, but I never do it, because I'm not, like, dramatic. We know they won't do it. They just threaten us. So this time, so Isaac's right. So I had a blow-up moment, which is totally understandable, considering my mom's been pushing our buttons for, like, my entire life, but it's something I can document. She's up on a roll. Everything's that when you're narcissistic and mentally ill, everything's about you. You can't comprehend when someone pays off your house. You can't comprehend. The only thing you can comprehend when you're in a cult is the people who agree with you in the cult and the people who are on your side. You have no ability to understand you're on a side, even though nobody's against you. For you in your mind, you're on a side, and you have to stay on your side. And this is all about you having control about your side and your beliefs and your rights, and you have to fight. It doesn't matter if you're wrong.
Documentation for lawsuit purposes. Noticing a pattern or a repeating sequence of events. My cousin Jeremy on my mom's side called my mom yesterday too. Then they all of a sudden decided they need cameras. My brother several years ago threatened me that our Aunt Nancy would give him money to sue me. I asked my mom if that was true 3 times at least, but more like 5. I asked my mom like several times, over the years if that's true, and she's always said no. That it is the same damn camera I asked my mom about several times, and this the one she blocked on Facebook over. Yeah. So I asked my mom about this camera, about putting these cameras up, and my mom and I ended up getting into a conversation, and my mom ended up blocking me over this. Then the next thing you know, after we call the police about my dad wanting to hit my son with a baseball bat, the next thing they know, Jeremy calls and they want to put these cameras up. But they didn't do it, by the way. We're a couple months out from this, and they never do it. So, again, that's exactly what it looks like. So, I asked if she sold it, because she does that all the time. Yeah, so my mom has this thing where you give her stuff and she'll go sell it, and then she'll tell you that I did it. She'll tell her family members. So specifically, there was a bread machine that we all had a bread machine from my grandma. My mom got rid of hers and gave it to Goodwill. Then Aunt Nancy's broke, so she was wondering if we didn't use it, if we could have the bread machine. No, I'm gonna have to pick this up.